yards, couple of hurdles mixed in there, played extremely well. A couple of the guys who continued their encouraging effort from last week, Ty Robinson, certainly one of them. 4 tackles tonight, 2 sacks. As Vic Fangio said, he was on life support. I think he is off. I think he is alive and well and making this football team, especially as a 4th rounder. Jeremiah Trotter Jr., again, 5 tackles, that nasty sack. And, man, what a drive, and spearheaded by good offensive line play and Will Shipley on the Eagles' first touchdown drive. 11 rushes, 56 yards, over 5 yards per carry for Shipley. In that series itself, he had 9 rushes, 33 yards on a 13-play, 77-yard touchdown drive. Tom, I know it's you always have to throw the qualifier out. It's the preseason. But at least they looked much more like a unit, a cohesive unit than they looked last week.
Yeah, they were watchable tonight. Like last week, that was not a watchable game. That was a really ugly performance. Tonight was a typical preseason game. Like that's exactly what you'd expect. The guys who you'd expect to play well played well. I thought one of the more encouraging things was you talked about that second drive with Shipley. I mean, that right side of the line with Markel Bell, man, he just moves
awesome.
people. Yeah, I mean, he looks good. Lampkin, I mean, for being an undersized guy, I think he can play. I think he makes this team, and I thought it was certainly a better performance tonight, a much better performance than we saw last week. There's no question about that.
Much better. And one of the things, there's a couple positions you look at and you worry about depth. I mean, last year, with all of the injuries to the offensive line, you're looking for guys who are going to be able to step in there. And Lampkin can play both center and guard, and we saw that. Bell and Lane Johnson was praising him. You wonder sometimes that he's just trying to do right by the kid. But, I mean, really, in both games and in a lot of these practices, he's looked really good. And that's a great sign as well. Those 2 guys, I think Drew Kendall can handle himself. So you have some depth there. Shipley, I think, was going to make the team anyway, Tom, because he can return kicks in addition to being sort of a utility knife. He's got good hands out of the backfield. But, man, what really stood out to me, and Mike Quick pointed this out during the broadcast, number one, a couple things. The ability to break tackles, but also he's very patient at the line of scrimmage. Sometimes it's great. You just got to hit the hole. But other times, you got to have a little patience, maybe a little jump cut. And he really had a feel, I thought, tonight for how to just run the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he looked really good. I mean, 9 carries on that touchdown drive. I mean, that's workhorse-type stuff. And again, finishes with 11 carries, all that in the first two drives of the game. And you kind of knew, like you said, Shipley will be the 3rd guy. I wonder, and I think in these preseason games, there aren't really a lot of spots to be won and lost. But you look at a guy like Carson Steele tonight, if he was on the bubble, if they were thinking about, do we want to keep 4 backs or keep 3 backs? I don't know, man. I mean, that's a guy who can do a lot of different things. Bigger sized guy who can, maybe be a power runner as well. I kind of want Carson Steele on this team after tonight.
I want Carson Steele to be converted to a tight end. I don't think having him as an H-back is crazy.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you're going to play
this out.
If you're going to play Cam Latu out there, why can't he be in that role?
Look, I mean, you're talking about a guy with serious size. He showed you the athleticism. Not 1, but 2 hurdles tonight from Carson Steele. So
got good hands too.
Yeah, no question about it. And they did a good job, I think. The wheel routes and catching them. And obviously New England's not game planning for this, but you're doing some things to be creative to get him the ball in space, and it worked. I thought, again, if you're looking at how this quarterback thing is going to break down, which is, I was surprised we didn't see Cole Payton until the very last drive. That was kind of weird. But Tanner McKee clearly outplayed Andy Dalton in this thing.
Yeah, and I'm sure, we'll talk a lot about the quarterback situation throughout the course of the show. I mean, to me, it's the big story right now. I am extremely confused by it, to be honest with you, and I've been confused by it all offseason. The fact that Tanner McKee played essentially the entire game tonight, and Andy Dalton only played 2 possessions.
And 2 ugly ones at that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the way you need to read that is the Eagles clearly look at Dalton as the guy who's going to be the backup, but I don't know, man. Like, when I look at the performance and I look at just the age and the upside, I cannot understand why Andy Dalton would be the backup over Tanner McKee.
Yeah, I was saying this earlier, while the game was going, to our producer Kyle, and I'm saying to myself, I really hope that McKee isn't just shipped off for like a 5th or 6th rounder or something like that. Like, to me, you're really playing with fire if that's the case, because I have not seen nearly enough. I mean, there were consecutive plays tonight when Andy Dalton was, I know it feels like it was forever ago, but when he was still in there, where he just blatantly misses guys.
Cooper and
Stowers. Both ran nice routes, and both are open. They're basic throws, man, that you got to make in those situations.
Yeah, and I don't get it. Like, Andy Dalton, even when he was at his peak, was never great, but he was a serviceable quarterback. I don't think he's that anymore. Yeah. And again, it feels to me like that game against Washington at the end of the year last year just turned the Eagles off to such a degree with McKee.
I agree.
I don't understand it. I get he didn't play well that day. We did the postgame that day. We were talking about it, but I do not understand how it's gotten to this point where he's essentially playing entire preseason games.
Yeah, and look, they see every practice and we don't, but I'm with you. Like, the offense was cratering, period, during that time. No matter who was out there.
When Jalen was in, wasn't looking good either.
It didn't look good at all, right? And, I hope that's not what this is. I'm sorry,
but it feels like that.
To me, and I guess we're gonna get one more game of this. I'm not really sure how they're gonna handle the last game next week, but there really isn't much doubt in my mind. It's Tanner McKee, and you're playing around with a dangerous game here with old Andy Dalton, quite frankly.
Yeah, and I guess I came into this game tonight, and I thought it would be divvied up kind of the way it was last week, where they'd each get a couple series. Peyton would play like the entire second half. I actually thought McKee was going to start this game tonight. I thought it was going to be like, okay, Dalton gets to start last week, McKee will start this week, and Cole Peyton will pretty much play the entire game against the Bengals, but I mean, I just don't know how you can read it any other way than they look at Dalton as the guy right now, and that's the part of it I just have a lot of trouble understanding.
Yeah, I wonder, like, how much are they, I don't know, showcasing? It's hard to say right now. I don't see Sean Mannion, Howie Roseman, Nick Sirianni, whoever else you want to throw in there in this scenario, going with anybody else but McKee. I just don't see that. We'll see. I don't think it's any... to me, it's not like some big financial hit if you just cut Dalton and you just let him walk, if there isn't a deal to be made out there for something.
Right.
Like, to me, that's the best way to go.
Yeah, and maybe that's it. I read it a little differently. Like I said, I just think, the fact that they're not playing Dalton makes me feel like they kind of... And with Andy Dalton, you kind of do know what you have, so that's there too. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens this week, but the way it's been handled really over the last month has been very surprising to me in general.
All right, you want to hop in, 215-592-9494. That's how you get involved. You want to talk about tonight's game. You want to talk big picture, about the quarterback situation, about guys that have stepped up. I'm with Tom. I'm encouraged by what I've seen from some of these guys who are going to be depth backup positions on the offensive line, but other guys have really stood out, and I think others have cemented their position on this team after a couple of these performances in the first two games. We'll discuss it. We'll hear from Nick Sirianni. We're going to hear from likely Tanner McKee, maybe Andy Dalton, but get your reaction as well. Don't move. He's Tom Kelly. I am Rob Ellis. You are listening to the PDQ Restaurant Point of Sale Systems postgame show on the Eagles Radio Network, presented by PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865 on 94 WIP.
Small business owners love what they do, and Verizon Business loves small business owners. That's why Verizon Business experts come directly to you, so you can spend more time doing what you love. Their experts show up on your schedule, ready to offer proven expertise and learn about the needs of your specific setup firsthand. And they won't quit until the solutions fit, even as your business grows. So save the time and stay where your business needs you the most. Verizon Business. Visit Verizon.com/book today to schedule an appointment with your local Verizon Business expert.
Time now for some gentle advice from Hand and Stone. For once, listen to your kids, do what your boss said, and take the annoying advice from your parents. And don't wait for a stranger in the comment section to tell you. They said it, but when Hand and Stone says it, they mean it. Just relax with a tailored facial or relaxing massage at a Hand and Stone near you. Learn more at handandstone.com or visit your local spa.
Auto Lenders chooses their cars like the birds pick their players. They carefully scout only the very best. Some are built for speed, some for power, some for utility. And with their rookies, there's barely any mileage on them, so their upside is incredible. You see, Auto Lenders has a deep bench, thousands of one-owner, low-mileage vehicles, all for thousands less than the competition. So we can't be beat like the birds. Fly, Auto Lenders, fly. Proud sponsor of this year's coin toss.
Getting hurt at work isn't a game. Your paycheck, your health, and your future can all be on the line. That's why at Stern & Cohen, we don't rely on actors, props, or gimmicks to get your attention. We rely on results. We're Philadelphia's workers' compensation lawyers with a winning track record and a team ready to fight for you. Call 215-999-1443 or visit sterncohenlaw.com for a free consultation. Stern & Cohen, because when the stakes are real, winning matters.
Tree care and landscape professionals, it's the fourth quarter. Modern Group has the equipment, parts, and service to help you finish the season strong. From CMC aerial lifts to Giant and Avant compact loaders, plus the nation's largest banded chipper and stump grinder inventory. Get everything you need at modernequipmentparts.com or visit them in Bristol, Edison, or Tabernacle. Modern Group, keeping you moving since 1946.
When it comes to your home, you shouldn't have to roll the dice with a small contractor or pay the high prices of a giant one. At Lemus Remodeling Group, a family-owned company, you get the perfect balance. Expert exterior remodeling from a team that's nationally recognized and neighborhood trusted. From roofing and siding to windows, doors, and gutters, the Lemus team delivers quality work, honest pricing, and a home that feels brand new. Call 610-GO-LEMUS to schedule your free consultation today or visit their website at golemus.com. Lemus Remodeling Group. Trust Lemus for a lifetime.
This Eagles season, get in the game at Acme. Save 5% when you shop at Acme on game days wearing your Eagles apparel. Plus, coming September 11th, enter the Swoop In and Win sweepstakes for your chance to win 2027 Eagles season tickets, groceries for a year, autographed jerseys, and more. Acme makes sure Eagles fans have everything they need to tailgate or host like a pro. Download their app to start shopping now. Acme, the official supermarket of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Hi, I'm Michael from the War and Treaty. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA-approved Ozempic. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Breaking down the Eagles-Patriots game Monday on the afternoon show, 2 to 6 on 94 WIP.
This is the PDQ Restaurant Point of Sale Systems postgame show on the Eagles Radio Network.
Patriots are 4 for 9 on third down conversions. Morton 6'1", 218. And Texas Tech, 3 receivers, 2 to the near side. On 3rd and 7. He's back. He's looking. Too late. He's sacked back at the 20-yard line. It was Joshua Weru, one of the exchange students.
That is so awesome. That is so awesome. Welcome back, everybody. PDQ Restaurant Point of Sale Systems post-game show. Rob Ellis, Tom Kelly, an evening where the Eagles lose 24-21, but it was a much better effort than we saw week 1 against the Ravens. That is for sure. And Tom, what a story. The Joshua Weru, and, we're all Bernarded up, if you will. Excited for these guys who have never played football in their lives. Literally, this is the second game that these guys have played. Bernard had a tackle tonight, but so cool for a guy like Weru to have the sack.
Yeah, and they're the kind of cool stories that you get in the preseason, and who knows when these guys are going to be on the field. I do think it's funny. Vic Fangio was asked about them, said they're exchange students. I no offense to them. I just don't think at this stage of Vic's career, he's all that worried about.
He's not
developing guys
projects.
for 2-3 years down the line.
The P word is not really in Vic's vocabulary right now. Yeah,
but I mean, Vic is just a treasure. Between that and him saying Ty Robinson was on life support,
it's the best.
He is just the best.
He's the uncle at the party where you're like, oh, what did Uncle?
You're worried about what he's going to say.
What did Uncle Vic say?
I mean, imagine being his daughter. and bringing like your boyfriend home to meet Papa Fangio.
You better be on your P's and Q's if that's the case. If you're rolling,
I think I'd be too intimidated.
Yeah,
I don't think I could. I don't think I could handle him as a father-in-law.
You'd have to go a different direction.
Yeah.
So a couple things. I'll pass this along because this is a huge note, and I know Merrill did it at the end of the broadcast. But just to reiterate, Jaquindon Jackson, and we all saw it and heard it on the very first play of the game, was injured. And they go into that mode where the arms are kind of frozen there. He's good. Okay, he's awake, fully aware of everything, and this was from his agent who tweeted this out. Full movement of his extremities. His CT was negative, and he's looking forward to rejoining his teammates at practice. So big exhale, man. That is the most important news of the night.
It is. That's great news. And I know those situations are always scary, but I think the NFL, they do the right thing in these spots where, they're overly cautious. And, they bring the ambulance on the field. They make sure the guy doesn't move. And typically, this is, the outcome, the vast majority of the time. But it's good that they handle it that way because it's much better than the alternative.
No doubt. All right, so we talked a lot about the quarterbacks, and we'll continue to do so throughout the course of the postgame show. Let's again highlight some positives here, Tom. I thought Darius Cooper did well. Had Dalton hit him with that other one, I mean, he ends up with 3 catches for 44 yards. He would have had more than that. So that's important because right now, other than Devontae, the wide receiver position is a little scary. And I know, Dontavian Wicks certainly had his moments in New England and in the joint practices during the week and played well. But you get beyond that, there's a lot of uncertainty, and you may very well need this guy. And he's starting to slowly but surely. I didn't think he played all that well last week, but he played well tonight for sure.
Well, yeah, and it feels like the reports out of camp with Hollywood Brown have not been great. Apparently, he's the guy who's been targeted on a lot of Jalen's interceptions this camp. So you don't know how much you trust him. Elijah Moore's apparently had a good camp, but he's got just banged around so much, bounced around so much that you don't feel as comfortable with him. So, yeah, you're looking for somebody to step up and really be that guy behind Devontae and Lemon and Wicks, and Cooper's certainly in that mix. So it was nice to see him look tonight more like we've heard it described at camp.
That feels like a position that in some way will be addressed. Now, I don't know what you can get on the trade market at this point, or maybe there's a veteran who's released, who a team that's got a lot of depth at receiver, but I don't think they're going into the season this way, especially having seen very little from Mekhi Lemon. So I think that position will be addressed, but, nice job out of Cooper there for sure. Let's go to the other side of the ball. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. just continues to show you, knowing the way that Fangio operates. Now, I think it's most likely it's Jahad Campbell next to Zach Bond because the guy was the first-round pick and Nakobe Dean, was allowed to walk.
And didn't play tonight.
Right, and didn't play tonight, which is a sign, okay? But I'm telling you, man, if you don't see a very effective Campbell early, Fangio will not be afraid to pull the trigger on Jeremiah Trotter Jr. and plug him in there.
Yeah, no, well, I agree. I think they're going to try to find ways, to potentially at least get him on the field. But I'll tell you what, Rob, I brought it up last week. We talked about it a little bit on last week's postgame show. I think the Eagles are going to have some decisions to make because I don't know if they'd be willing to do it. I think they're going to get calls on Jeremiah Trotter over the next couple of weeks.
Why wouldn't you? If you need a linebacker and you're seeing what this guy does?
Right. I saw, a tweet or a report from somebody in Carolina yesterday saying, oh, well, their middle linebacker situation is a mess. There are going to be teams that are going to call. You're going to have to weigh. I mean, obviously, it would come down to what are you getting? I don't know. Maybe it's a position for position type deal if there's a spot that you're,
which we don't typically see a lot of in the NFL, but
right that you're light at. Yeah. But it's tough because at the same time, I don't know if I'd want to trade him.
I just you're one hit away in this sport. I'm with you. Look, if I get a great deal, obviously I got to think about it, but I would rather have him, man, in the wings if something goes sideways.
Sure, I definitely think it's something they're going to have to decide on though, because I think this is going to be a conversation. And I certainly think they're going to get calls on him.
Absolutely.
Sure.
All right, so let's circle back here to the offensive line, and just you're talking about there's some serious age there with Lane. I know these guys aren't necessarily, if you just look at the age, old, but let's face it. I mean, Landon Dickerson's been through a lot. Considering high school and college in the NFL. Cam Jurgens, anytime it's a back in any sport, it's scary, especially the NFL. to have what looks like a couple of guys who are legit, like Lampkin and Markel Bell, man, that's big. And I thought both guys in both of these games have really shown you something, just with some athleticism, with some ability to open up some holes. I mean, I give a lot of credit to Shipley, but a lot of this, too, was the offensive line doing an excellent job.
Absolutely. And on that second drive, which I'm sure we'll talk a lot about, I mean, they basically ran the ball down New England's throat on that drive. And the offensive line depth is something that, I think we've been concerned about. But you bring in Bell. I think that really helps because you already have Fred Johnson, who he's not great, but he can play. Like, he's played at this level. He's played in big games. He's played in regular season games before, playoff games. So you have him, you have Bell. So you feel pretty good about your 4 tackles at this point. And as long as you have a couple of those interior guys that can swing between center and guard, you should be in good shape. I think they're in better shape this year going into the season there than they were last year.
Much better. And I also believe this, and I'm not trying to read too much into just 2 preseason games. I'm incorporating the joint practices too, and everything I've heard about this system. I think the Eagles are going to run the ball at a very successful rate. I think you're looking at a monster bounce back for Saquon Barkley. I really do.
Well, I hope so. I think that's what they're going to need. They're going to need Saquon to be great. They're going to need to, be a run-first football team. We know that's how they won in 2024 and how they want to play. So, yeah, I mean, the offensive line, we talked about it all offseason, but that's going to be huge this year.
Yep. Let's go to Corey in the Northeast to kick things off. Corey, you're on the Eagles postgame show.
What's up, guys?
Yo, Corey.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Good, man.
I think Ty Robinson should make the team, and I think also the Steele should make the team because I like the hurdles. I like the athleticism of him, and like the sack. He's like a sack machine. Ty Robinson. That's what the Eagles need. A sack machine.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 3 over the first 2 games here. I mean, he's been really disruptive. He had 4 tackles also.
I don't want them to get rid of Jeremiah Trotter Jr. I wanted them to draft him, and his father talked to Howie to draft him. I don't want them to lose him. I like Jeremiah Trotter. I liked it when he played here. His father. I met him. He's a great guy.
Well, he instinctively knows how to play the position, and he's always in the right spot. He talked about it earlier this week, how, last year he was like any rookie, your head's spinning a little bit. You're thinking out there. He said, now I know exactly where to be. You see him blowing up plays. He's diagnosing plays before the ball's even snapped.
Yeah, I mean,
and thanks, Corey. It's good stuff.
He's a hell of a player, and Corey brings up the sentimental side of it, and sure, I mean, it would be awesome to see him play his entire career here, a lot of his career, like his dad did. But at the same time, like, this is a business. We know the way how he thinks, and if an opportunity comes about where the Eagles can improve their team by trading him, I think that's something they have to entertain.
Agreed. All right, 215-592-9494. If you want to hop aboard, we'll continue to talk about what we've seen through the first 2 games, what we saw in the joint practices, and what's ahead for the Eagles. Only one more preseason game. Tom Kelly, Rob Ellis, PDQ Restaurant, Point of Sale Systems postgame show on the Eagles Radio Network, presented by PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865 on 94 WIP.
Hey, this is Brian Veazey, the new PNC Bank Regional President. Sticking to the fundamentals and not wavering from the game plan is a great philosophy for football and banking. And for 160 years, that's been the winning strategy behind PNC's approach to helping our customers. Locally, dedicated PNC teams are in formation to help fans receive sound and reliable, personalized financial advice. Because, as we see it, a win for them is a win for the greater Philadelphia community. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Know what's below, because even minor excavation projects like installing a mailbox, building a patio, or putting up a fence can do major damage. Contact 811 before you dig, or visit pa1call.org to submit a locate request to have underground utilities marked.
Toyota's national sales event is on. Visit your local Toyota dealer and discover which Toyota is right for you. Choose from the boldly stylish Camry, the tech-savvy Corolla, the legendary Tacoma, and more. Toyota, let's go places.
Kick off game day the right way this season with Hers, the snack that's rooted in Philly. They've been a hometown favorite for nearly 8 decades and counting. So when you say their first team all flavor, you can taste it. Hers runs a deep roster of unbelievable flavors like zesty, sour cream and onion, sweet and smoky honey barbecue, and slightly spicy jalapeno kettle chips. So next Birds game, you can't help but go for 2. Bags, that is. Hers, rooted in flavor.
Has your air conditioner struggled to keep up this summer? Don't wait for a costly breakdown. Now is a great time to replace your old system while you can still enjoy better cooling today and be ready for the heating season ahead. From now through November 20th, your local Carrier dealer may be offering up to $2,100 in instant rebates and 60 months 0% APR financing to help make a new Carrier system more affordable. To find a local Carrier contractor, visit nopaycarrier.com. Carrier, turn to the experts.
This is Jordan Lundy of Lundy Law. When we say we hope you're never the victim of a rideshare accident, we mean it. But if you should suffer a rideshare injury, we'll work quickly to get you the maximum compensation you deserve. And we mean it when we say there are never any upfront fees, ever. And we only get paid when your case is over and you get paid. Remember our name, Lundy Law, your injury lawyers. Call 1-800-LUNDY-LAW or visit lundylaw.com.
You never forget the way people make you feel. The nurse who answered your call in the middle of the night. The real person who guided you to the best care. Caring makes a difference. And at Independence Blue Cross, caring is a choice we make every day. Learn more at ibx.com/cares. Independence Blue Cross. Never stop caring.
Hi, I'm Greg. And I'm Bill. We're two of the owners of United Tire and Service. United Tire is proud to congratulate Merrill Reese on an incredible 50 years behind the microphone, calling unforgettable game day moments for Birds fans everywhere. Merrill, you're truly the GOAT. Thanks for 5 decades. We're honored to celebrate this milestone with you. To celebrate 50 years of Merrill, all customers can get $50 off 2 or more tires or any automotive service. See stores for details. Don't drive alone. Drive United.
Summer's the season for fresh starts, and nothing transforms your home like a brand new kitchen. Since 1979, Kitchen Magic in Nazareth has been a family business built on quality and true craftsmanship. This summer, we're making it easier than ever. Save 40% on installation, plus flexible financing to fit any budget. 4 decades of local families have trusted us to get it right. Now it's your turn. Visit kitchenmagic.com and make this the summer your kitchen finally gets the upgrade it deserves.
We're going to talk about Eagles Pats Monday from 2 to 6 on the WIP Afternoon Show with Ike, Spike, and Fritz.
This is the PDQ Restaurant Point of Sale Systems postgame show on the Eagles Radio Network.
Eagles are definitely in 4-down territory. Trips left. Steele the single setback. They have to get down to the 15. McKee floats it out of the flat. He's got Steele, who leaps over a man and goes in for the touchdown. Leaped over a man at the 2 and scored on a 20-yard touchdown play. And the Eagles regained the lead.
Leaped over a man in a single bound. The man of steel. Carson Steele, the offensive play of the game, brought to you by Cozy Jewelers. Step up to the 5th C this season. That's Color, Cut, Clarity, Carrot, and Cozy. Welcome back in, everybody. Rob Ellis, Tom Kelly, PDQ Restaurant, Point of Sale Systems postgame show. Yeah, how about that, Tom? So for the night, Carson Steele, 6 catches, 84 yards. That's 14 yards per catch. The touchdown, which you just heard, he had a 28-yarder there. And in addition, he ran the ball 12 times, 33 yards. Not great, but still a heck of a night for that guy, man. Over 100 total yards.
117 all-purpose yards with a touchdown. I mean, that's a heck of a night. And, you know, for a guy who's battling for that 4th running back spot, you know, I think he certainly helped himself tonight. I think it's with guys like him, it's always kind of a numbers game. But, you know, I think certainly he made a case for making the team.
Your lock first 2, without question, Saquon, Bigsby, Shipley. I
still think Shipley's a lock over Steele.
I agree with you 100% because he also gives you the kick return skill set, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I know, you know, a lot of people talk about Latu, who can do who kind of versatile, can play the tight end spot. I've seen a heck of a lot more from Carson Steele. in these two games.
Now, and obviously, once you get to this point, it comes down to a lot of times what you can contribute on special teams. I'm not sure what they see from Steele there. I mean, he seems like a guy who could probably, contribute on special teams, stick his nose in there, but that's probably what it's going to come down to because Latu, I believe, like in the Tampa game, I think he had the block punt last year.
Did.
So he's certainly one of their, I think, core special teams guys. But, it is interesting once you get to this point where these kind of things kind of determine who makes the team and who gets cut.
Yeah, no question about it. And there were some other guys who I thought helped themselves tonight. I don't know if he makes the team or whatever. Sean Wade has a knack for the strip.
2 forced fumbles in 2 weeks.
I mean, that one tonight was an assault. He literally punches that thing out.
Hey, man, that's a good way to get yourself a job somewhere. I don't think he's going to make this team, but he could make somebody else's team.
That was one heck of a football play because the guy was almost out of bounds. It was a hell of a play that he makes right there. That's for sure. Any other guys stand out to you? Just maybe even bubble guys or whatever that we haven't hit yet so far?
I'm trying to think of. I mean, obviously we mentioned Ty Robinson
is fine. He's 100%.
Yeah, he looked good. Again, I thought Lampkin was a guy who looked really good on the offensive line. Aside from that, nobody's really, sticking out to me here. I mean, Chance Campbell, the linebacker.
Yeah, he's done some things.
He made a couple plays, and that just is really showing to be a deep part of this team.
Spot.
With those middle linebackers. They have a lot of guys who you feel like if they had to go into a game, they could. I mean, Gabe Hall in the middle.
He made play early. Yep.
That's another deep spot on this team, interior defensive line.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's go to William. He's in Wilmington. William, you're on the Eagles postgame show.
Yeah, hey, first off, I just want to say there's too many golf carts down here at the shore. And then secondly...
My man, William.
It's all Rob's neighbors.
That's all my buddies in Wilmington.
Insane.
Yes.
And then I've had a fun day out fishing, and I think I could complete more passes than McKee did today. I mean...
Dalton.
The guy is just awful. And I think what we could have gotten last year compared to what we could get this year for him is just an insane drop-off. And you don't see how he made the same mistake with guys. You see him trade it off, and he's doing a Dombrowski kind of thing. It's the guy's past his prime, and we're not going to get what we could have gotten last year for him. It's insane.
You're talking Dalton, correct? Not McKee?
McKee.
You thought McKee was awful tonight?
I didn't like McKee tonight. I didn't like him.
Interesting. I thought he played pretty well tonight.
Yeah, I thought McKee played well. I thought Dalton kind of stunk, but I thought McKee did a pretty good job tonight ultimately.
Yeah. And then when it comes to Tank or Shipley, you got to go with Shipley, don't you? I mean,
you get both. You can have both.
Tank?
Yeah, Tank's your number 2.
Crazy there, William?
William, what time were we throwing a few back on the boat?
On the cart?
Hello? You what?
Did we have a couple
you got
today,
your answer,
William?
Rob.
I mean, I've had fun today, but I still think Shipley's better than Tank.
All right. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Know about that. Tank people were calling for Tank to get carries over Saquon last year.
I actually I'd like to see Tank get 5 or 6 carries per game.
Yeah.
I'm serious. I would. I think he's a really nice change of pace and works very well with Saquon. Look, I'm good there. I'm good with their 1-2 punch, and I think it's going to be Shipley 3, and then we'll see what happens with 4. But I'm good with the Eagles 1-2, and I don't think there's any question who's been the better quarterback so far. And really, it mostly comes down to tonight because neither one of those guys distinguished themselves in the first game. But I think they brought in Dalton, Tom, with the hope of trying to move McKee or offload McKee, and it just didn't transpire. And now I think it may have been a favor. Just keep him.
Yeah, because that's the way I look at it. Because as you brought up, in the last segment, is I don't want to trade him for like a 5th round pick.
No.
That's not worth it to me. I think he's a better quarterback than Andy Dalton.
Yeah,
and if something were to happen to Jalen, where he'd have to miss a couple games, I would feel better about Tanner McKee going into the game than Andy Dalton.
Yes. All right, 215-592-9494. We're going to come back. We are going to hear from Nick Sirianni. We are going to hear from Tanner McKee. We got a lot more to do. You don't know Jack. Ground game, which we'll get into. Do not move. Tom Kelly, Rob Ellis, PDQ Restaurant Point of Sale Systems. Post-game show on the Eagles Radio Network, presented by PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865. on 94 WIP.
Small business owners love what they do, and Verizon Business loves small business owners. That's why Verizon Business experts come directly to you, so you can spend more time doing what you love. Their experts show up on your schedule, ready to offer proven expertise and learn about the needs of your specific setup firsthand. And they won't quit until the solutions fit, even as your business grows. So save the time and stay where your business needs you the most. Verizon Business. Visit Verizon.com/book today to schedule an appointment with your local Verizon Business expert.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Ratliff, Engineering Director at Nissan. We know some things are important to hear from an expert, not a voice actor. For instance, the Nissan Frontier is not only powerful and fun to drive, but it's durable too. We added the V6 engine, so when you need that power in the off-road, it's there. I know, we've tested it a lot. Now get out there and find your Frontier.
Nissan, Consumer Guide's most awarded brand 5 years in a row. Well-qualified buyers get 0% APR on the 2026 Nissan Rogue, Murano, Pathfinder, or Frontier, excluding S-Trim. Consumer Guide is a registered trademark, a publication international limited, www.consumerguide.com. Example, 0 down payment, 60 months financing at $1,667 per month per thousand finance. Frontier S-Trim 1.9% APR for 60 months at $1,748 per month per thousand financed. Actual down payment may vary, subject to in-bank credit approval. Not all buyers qualify. Dealer contribution may affect actual price set by dealer. Contact dealer for details. Ends 9/30/26.
Enjoy the comfort of endless hot water with a Bradford White tankless water heater. Bradford White tankless water heaters provide continuous hot water on demand. So whether you're the first person to shower or the fifth, the water will stay perfectly hot the whole time. It's performance you can count on and peace of mind for years of reliability that comes from choosing Bradford White. So ask your plumbing professional about going tankless with a Bradford White tankless water heater. Visit bradfordwhite.com to learn more.
Operating engineers are the men and women that move mountains. And the Engineers Labor Employer Cooperative, ELEC, puts them to work. They create opportunities for the men, women, and union signatory contractors of Local 825, repaving our roads, keeping our homes bright and warm, and even building our favorite team stadium. We understand infrastructure. That's why ELEC and Local 825 are ready to get to work.
Every day, innocent people are injured by careless drivers, defective products, and negligent medical care. While no one can give back what was taken from you or a loved one, we will fight to get you the justice and compensation you deserve. I'm Joe Messa. At Messa Law, you will get aggressive and outstanding representation, and you don't pay until we win. Contact us at messalaw.com. We've got your back.
In Philly, we go all out for what we believe in. And at Lincoln Financial, we're no different. Since 2003, we've been proudly flying alongside Eagles fans everywhere. Since 1905, we've been helping Americans with retirement, protection, and benefit solutions built to last. 120 years in, and just like the birds, we have no plans on slowing down. Lincoln Financial, the name behind the link. Lincoln Financial is the marketing name for Lincoln National Corporation and affiliates, copyright 2025.
When it's game time for your business, trust Imperial Brady to get you across the goal line. As a national distributor of cleaning, facility care, food service, and industrial packaging supplies, they equip your team with the right gear and the playbook to match. Fast delivery, reliable results. Real pros who know the field. At Imperial Brady, they don't just deliver boxes, they're calling winning plays. To get started, visit ImperialBrady.com. Proud partner in sustainability of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Hey, it's Devontae Smith. Hear me scoring touchdowns all season long, right here on 94 WIP.
This is the PDQ Restaurant Point of Sale Systems postgame show on the Eagles Radio Network.
We're back with the PDQ Restaurant Point of Sale Systems postgame show. Along with Tom Kelly, I am Rob Ellis. Eagles lose 24-21 to the Patriots. 0-2 in the preseason. There's one more game next Friday, or this Friday, I guess, since it's Saturday. But one more game in the preseason, and then it gets real against Washington after that. All right, time for a little. Did you know, Tom? I'm just going to go out on a limb right now. I'm very confident that you will know this one.
That's a risky proposition, Rob.
See, Tom thinks I'm setting him up for failure.
Okay,
I'm being sincere here.
All right, what do we got here?
Okay. Did you know, sponsored by Dell Automotive, did you know, actually, I'll ask it to you this way, Tom.
Okay.
How many points did the Eagles score in their first Super Bowl victory over the Patriots, Super Bowl 52?
41.
Correct.
It's easy.
Correct. See?
That wow.
That's it, man.
Come on. We need to up the difficulty level here.
Oh, okay. I'll remember you said. Vonnie is taking notes right now as we speak. Did you know the Eagles scored 41 points against New England in Super Bowl 52 to capture their first Super Bowl championship in franchise history? Tom knew that, but if you didn't know that, then you don't know Jack. Get to know Jack Dell's teams at DellToyota.com or DellChevrolet.com. See, that was a layup for you.
That was a layup.
Okay, preseason.
The preseason. We're getting the layup throws out of the way in the preseason.
How many did New England score in that game?
33.
You're on fire, man.
And then 40-22 in the other one. Just for a little extra credit.
Look at this guy.
Yeah.
All right, so Tanner McKee on the evening, 16 of 22, 173 yards, 7.9 yards per throw. Had the 2 touchdowns as well. Let's hear from the Eagles quarterback who's competing for that number 2 spot.
Better today.
Yeah.
Why?
Why? We talked a lot about execution and not shooting ourselves in the foot with penalties. Felt like we did a lot better job not going backwards. It's really hard to play offense, obviously, just playing 1st and 20 or 2nd and 15, whatever it is. But you can't call the plays that you want to play, that you want to call when you're in those situations. And so just finding your rhythm, getting the drive started. And I thought just execution was better as well.
Was the playbook opened up a little bit just to give you guys a little more to play with this time?
I would say so. Yeah, I would say so, which was great. I thought Sean called a great game. Just had a couple really good calls, easy throws for the quarterback, easy reads, and so yeah, I thought it was great.
How about Carson?
Yeah, how about Carson? Yeah, great. Awesome for him stepping up. We just got word that JJ's doing okay, which is awesome. But Carson, stepping in, taking those extra reps and balling, which was great. It was really good to see. Having a lot of confidence in him, doing the right thing. Eyes looking at the right spot, knowing when he's the hot, knowing in pass protection who's he's got. It was great to see, and just the excitement that it brought on the sideline when he was hurdling guys and when things were going on. It was good to see.
Did you want that last drive?
As a competitor, you always want to go in to win the game. I'm waiting for coaches to tell me when to go into the game, when do I leave the game. And so, as a competitor, of course, I want every drive. So, yeah.
Speaking of being competitive and competition, where do you think things stand between you and Andy at this point?
Yeah. I don't know. I play when the coaches put me in. Obviously put my best foot forward, try to do all the extra things, whether that's in the film room or on the practice field, staying late, talking with the guys, bonding, whatever that is. And I let them decide all that.
Did you know was the process the same way in terms of knowing that you were not going to be the first guy up, or you found at the same time everything was kind of just
pretty much similar to last game.
How did you feel like you did in the joint practices this week?
Felt great, just getting a lot of extra reps with the against another team, which was great. Obviously, the Ravens game didn't go the way that we wanted to, and so being able to get another shot at running our plays against another team was great. Obviously in joint practice, you open up the playbook a little bit more, knowing that it's not going to be televised, and it's not every team's going to be able to watch that film. And so that was great doing all of our stuff. And yeah, it was great because obviously I think we all kind of had that itch. We want to get back on the field. We want to play against someone else after what we put on film last week. And so it was nice that we got the opportunity to do that in joint practice. And then obviously, great tonight that we were able to sustain some more drives, put some more points on the board.
The word came pretty quick that JJ had moving some scrimmage and stuff and just take off the field. How much did that help you guys kind of just settle down and find some coverage back to football that happens so soon after the open field?
Yeah, pretty. I think everyone's different. A lot of different emotions. Just praying, hoping that he's okay. Hopefully, it's the best case scenario. At that moment, just hoping that he gets the best care and everything, and everyone's asking about him, hoping that he's getting okay. And so then word was going around that he was talking, he was responsive, and he was moving. So that kind of got everybody to settle down a little bit and just at least, we know our teammates doing okay.
How do you feel you are in terms of learning this offense? Would you say that, like, at first it was like, kind of like a process, maybe a struggle, and then you feel like you've kind of been on an upward trend?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, anytime that it's a new offense, there's going to be a learning curve, and we definitely had that. It's very different than what we've run in the past. And so just with the new terminology, different, techniques, fundamentals. And so, of course, there's going to be some bumps in the road, but as long as we don't make the same mistake twice and as long as we're trending upwards, I think those are going to be good bumps as long as, they stay in practice. We learn in film. We learn from other people's mistakes, especially a guy getting limited reps. I got to learn from Jalen's mistakes and Andy's mistakes and Cole's mistakes as well as my own. And so just being able to stay on that upwards trend.
I'm going to put you on the spot. How does this play out, Tom? Give me the 3 Eagles quarterbacks that are on the roster week 1 to face Washington. And now you can dress 3 now with the new NFL rule.
Right. Well, I think it's going to be Jalen Hurts. I think it's going to be Andy Dalton. And I guess Tanner McKee. I don't see.
Really? Do you think Dalton's here?
I do think Dalton's here. I do. Like, I think they view him as the backup quarterback. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I find it very odd that they would start him in this game tonight and play him only 2 series and play McKee the majority of the game.
I do find it odd, too. I think McKee's the backup. I don't know how you can watch this and think it's Dalton.
I hope you're right. I think there's a better chance it's Dalton than McKee.
Okay, we'll discuss that further. 215-592-9494. Tom Kelly, Rob Ellis. We're going to hear from Nick Sirianni. We'll get to the ground game, which was good, especially early in the game tonight. We'll dive into a couple other things, a bigger picture regarding the season. When we get back, you are listening to the PDQ Restaurant Point of Sale Systems postgame show on the Eagles Radio Network, presented by PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865 on 94 WIP.
PDQ POS is the MVP of point-of-sale systems. It supports bars and restaurants all over the country from right here in Bucks County. For over 40 years, PDQ has been unveiling features that help business owners stay ahead of the game. Self-service options, mobile ordering, real-time analytics, and insights that help elevate your team and your play calling. If you're ready for a smarter, more dependable point-of-sale system, make the switch to PDQ POS today. Visit PDQPOS.com.
Our fans deserve the same passion in the broadcast that they bring to the stadium. That's why I trust Rothman Orthopedics. Calling a game takes concentration. Living with pain makes it hard to stay focused. Having surgery at Rothman was one of the best decisions I've ever made. If you're looking for expert orthopedic care from a team that's helped our community stay active for over 50 years, rely on Rothman. Schedule your appointment at RothmanOrtho.com. That's RothmanOrtho.com.
Kick off game day the right way this season with Hers, the snack that's rooted in Philly. They've been a hometown favorite for nearly 8 decades and counting. So when you say their first team all flavor, you can taste it. Hers runs a deep roster of unbelievable flavors like zesty, sour cream and onion, sweet and smoky honey barbecue, and slightly spicy jalapeno kettle chips. So next Birds game, you can't help but go for 2. Bags, that is. Hers, rooted in flavor.
Dear Eagles fans, Toyota's a proud partner of the Philadelphia Eagles and official automotive partner of the NFL. The Toyota Corolla and Camry make big plays with style and efficiency. RAV4 is an all-hybrid game changer. Grand Highlander's got room for your whole squad. And the rugged Tacoma and Tundra control the line of scrimmage. Visit Toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places.
When your AC loses its cool or your water heater loses its heat, it throws your whole day off. You can't think straight. You're like, what grade are my kids in? I'm not left-handed. There's only one cure. WM Henderson Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. We'll show up same day and get your AC or hot water or wiring back in shape with 100% satisfaction and no emergency service fees ever. WM Henderson will get you thinking straight until you forget your internet password again. Schedule now at WMHenderson.com.
Turn
TurnersvilleJeep.com wants you to save big this month on their enormous selection of Jeeps and Ram trucks. Want to save thousands? How about up to 15% off MSRP on select Ram trucks? Prefer great financing rates? How about 2.9% for up to 72 months on select Jeep models? Don't have a down payment? How about no payments of 90 days for qualified buyers? Just minutes from all bridges or online 24/7 at TurnersvilleJeep.com. Again, that's TurnersvilleJeep.com.
The working families of La Labor District Council of Pennsylvania, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia are proud contributors to all aspects of growth in this great city. The Labor District Council provides safe, well-trained, productive workers who enable projects to be done on time and under budget. We appreciate our signatory contractors and their commitment to fairness and equality. Laborers, we're building a better future today.
Brought to you by the Laborers District Council Licit Fund.
Hey, Joe DeCamera here. When it comes to engagement rings, I always point people to Family and Company Jewelers on Route 70 in Marlton, New Jersey. JR and his team take the time to walk you through every step. Diamond, setting, styles, they explain it in a way that makes sense. A big relief if you're walking in overwhelmed. No pressure, no pushiness, just honest guidance and a ton of selection so you can actually compare your options and feel good about your choice. You don't leave confused, you'll leave feeling confident. Family and Company Jewelers, South Jersey's diamond destination.
94 WIP HD1 Philadelphia. Powered by the Tasty Cake Studios and Odyssey Station. This is the PDQ Restaurant Point of Sale Systems postgame show on the Eagles Radio Network.
Second and goal. Again to Shipley, up the middle, touchdown! Eagles score first.
Again, it's not only this offensive line exploding and moving people, but it's the smarts in the way Shipley is running the football.
Yes, that is the Independence Blue Cross ground game, sponsored by Independence Blue Cross, the region's largest network of doctors and hospitals, gives you more choice in where, when, and how you get care. Independence Blue Cross, never stop caring. Learn more at IBX.com. Welcome back to the PDQ Restaurant Point of Sale Systems postgame show. Rob Ellis, Tom Kelly. Eagles do lose the game, but as we mentioned, a lot more cohesiveness, a lot more encouraging. I do wonder, Tom, we didn't talk about this, and just to, I'll pick up on that in a second, but just to go back to Will Shipley. 11 rushes, 56 yards, more than 5 yards per carry. I was glad to see him, get the chance to finish that thing off with that drive. That was a 9-play, 33-yard drive, or he had 9 rushes for 33 yards on a 13-play, 77-yard drive that was a lot of runs.
Yeah.
I mean, 9 of the 13 plays on the ground.
And really, you look at that drive, basically all the runs were over to that right side.
Yeah.
And they basically ran right behind Markel Bell. And I don't know if Kendall was the guard on that side.
Yeah, Lampkin was playing center.
But yeah, I mean, Markel Bell, man.
Oh my God, and he was in
is
space,
fun to watch.
Tom. He's killing guys in space.
Yeah, I mean, he can do it in space. And when you get him just like man-on-man against defensive end, good luck. I mean, he's driving guys 5-7 yards down the field like it's nothing.
Yeah, he is a gigantic human being. Okay, what I was worried about was his feet. In college, he didn't come off at Miami. Look, he played at Miami. He played at certainly an unbelievably high level. But he didn't seem to have some of the swiftness that we've seen. Maybe the system just really fits him well, too, that Chris Cooper's running.
Yeah, and, that's the hope is that you can kind of develop him. Hey, I mean, we know the situation with Lane after this season. I think that's what this season is about with Markel Bell. Get him ready to go, and hopefully, if things go according to plan, that's your starting right tackle next year.
All right, so Sean Mannion called the game from the press box tonight. Last week, on the sideline. We don't know what next week is going to look like in the finale here. If you're just judging by what the offense looked like, he may be in the booth week 1.
Keep him up there, yeah.
Whatever, man, if it ain't broke.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's really hard to know how much of an impact, that plays in the preseason. I'd imagine he'd give it one more run on the field next week because he had some success this week in the booth. And, hey, I mean, maybe this is something that goes into the regular season where you'd like to have a plan, but for a first-time play caller, it might take a little experimentation to know what fits him better.
Yeah, look, I mean, certain guy, Vic likes to be upstairs, right? And he's a guy who's been doing it for a very long time. I really don't care. Whatever works, man. Whatever works for you. And I think that's I don't think it's a bad idea experimenting. This is when you experiment. It's this time of year.
Right. Like, if I had my preference, generally, I like the guys to be on the sideline. I just think it's easier.
Immediate conversation with the quarterback.
Right. It's easier for communication.
Yeah.
I think, just getting to talk to a guy face-to-face, too.
Yeah.
I think it's better to read body language, stuff like that. But, hey, it doesn't mean that's got to be the case for everybody. There are plenty of guys who do it at a high level from the booth, so we'll see what works out for them.
Yeah, next segment we'll hear from Nick Sirianni, and perhaps he'll be asked about that. I'm sure we'll hear from Sean Mannion during the week. All right, so a couple other things to look at here. We were talking about some positions. Certainly linebacker, they have really good depth there. Good signs for offensive line depth, for sure, from what we've seen in the preseason. I'm still concerned about some depth in the secondary, Tom. And again, tonight there were a couple guys. Keely Ringo is so grabby. He may only be special teams at this point. I don't know. But, man, when he's out there, every time he's involved in a play, you're holding your breath.
Yeah, I mean, he gets the one illegal contact call where, again, it was just kind of unnecessary, just kind of pushes him. And you could say it's ticky-tack call, but it's going to get called. Like, these are the things that they're looking for. And it's just like, a lot of times with Keely Ringo,
he should be better at this point.
Well, yeah, and you feel like he's going into year 4, and the one play where he's in the right place, he covers it well, and then the ball just goes right through his hands and hits him in the helmet. It's like, dude, if you want to make this team, those are the kind of plays that's got to be a pick.
Yeah, there were 2 short picks tonight that were dropped by the Eagles, and yeah, I agree with you. And whether you're Keely Ringo or whatever, if you want to make these teams, this team or another team, you got to make those kind of plays.
And it's hard to, kind of buy into the fact that this is still an improving, developing player going into year 4. I mean, that can be true to a degree, but this is the time of a guy's career where you need to start seeing some actual results on field.
You know what he looks like to me? He is who he is. He has great speed. We saw the closing speed last week with that interception in the back of the end zone. To his credit, he's made himself a pretty solid special teamer. I don't think there's much there beyond that. That's who he is.
That's kind of what it looks like. And, for a team that, I mean, is trying to fill out that corner spot at the end of the roster, it's going to be tough. I mean, I would still maybe lean to him making the team at this point.
For special teams, that's the thing we seem to. I'm not saying you or I, but people don't take that into account enough when we have these conversations. I'm talking about when you're getting to the bottom of the roster. That's how you make your living.
Right, because you got the top 3 corners, and then look at all these guys who are in the mix. It's Ringo, it's Mac McWilliams, Jonathan Jones, Jacorian Bennett's still on the team, Sean Wade.
A lot. Yep.
Yeah, so you'd imagine like 3 of those guys are going to make the team.
Well, all right. So in this day and age when you only play 3 and the joint practices are the big deal, so there's one more game on Friday against the Bengals, and that's an 8 o'clock start, by the way. Just take note of that. It's an 8 o'clock instead of a 7 o'clock. But because just kind of the calendar this year, Labor Day's later. First game's not till the 13th of September.
God. Such a long wait.
That's why I brought it up.
It's just brutal,
I
man.
don't know that everybody sort of realizes that. I think a lot of us are thinking it's that next week. Not till the 13th.
Why don't we start it on Labor Day weekend anymore? We used to remember the pickle juice game was on Labor Day weekend.
Yeah, it was all like back in the day in the 90s. It was early 2000s. It was a lot.
And I get normally if Labor Day hits early, then you wait. But this year we don't need to wait till the middle of September to start playing football.
I know.
Sucks.
That's when once we get past, you're going to be. The only real suspense after the Bengals game next week is going to be, all right, who makes the team and all that. But we're going to be pulling our hair out here, waiting for this thing to get real.
Yeah, I mean,
with this team.
We're going to have, 2.5 weeks between 16 days, I guess, between the last preseason game and the first regular season game.
Yeah, it's going to be a long way for sure. But, and I look at this division, Tom, and, Jaden Daniels today kind of addressed the LSU number thing. Basically like, hey, our statement's out there. He looks so bad in this. And they're, losing a Laramie Tunsil, having some of the other issues. They have some other injuries that are pretty key. I know there are some out there that think this is going to be a bounce back for the Commanders. I'm not one of them.
No.
I like that the Eagles are starting with that team.
I think they're going to be a disaster. I really do. I think the Commanders are going to stink. I know John Harbaugh, well-respected, good coach. I have a hard time believing like he's going to turn that thing around in 1 year. I mean, the
quarterback's going to get hurt.
Yeah, and I think the quarterback and the running back are both knuckleheads, honestly. I think it's going to be what this division typically is. It's going to be the Eagles and the Cowboys. And, I think what it's really going to come down to is this. What unit is going to be better, the Eagles offense or the Cowboys defense? Because the Cowboys offense is going to be pretty
they're going
good.
to score.
The Eagles defense is going to be good. I think that's really what it's going to come down to is can the Cowboys defense be, better than expected, or can the Eagles offense be better than expected?
And here's where I think it's really good. You don't get Dallas the first time until October 26th, okay? So you're 7 weeks into this thing. I think it's going to take the offense a minute to get going. Like, if you look at these joint practices this week, and again, I wasn't there. I'm going off of, what I've read, what people have reported, and, some of the video that you see, right? I'm not surprised that the offense didn't hit the ground running in the first joint practice. I'm really not. Now, they responded in the second one and played better. That's how I see the regular season starting. I think they're going to be a little bit slow, and they're going to need the defense to really, and I'm not worried about that. I think the defense is going to be really good out of the chute. But that's what it's going to take, I think, early on as they go through some growing pains.
Yeah, I agree. And I think just in general, and again, I'm down there a ton, I was down there a day or two, but from all the reports, the offense does not look good in camp. Now, I think you do need to take a little bit of that with a grain of salt because they are going up against the defense, and this is going to be a very good defense. But yeah, I think it's going to be tough to start the year. I actually think Washington might not be a bad opponent because, to your point, I think they could struggle. They could be a team that underperforms this year. But yeah, I think this team is going to need to win by the defense, and the defense is going to have to force some takeaways and put the offense from good spots early.
Yeah, so it's Washington here, September 13th. That's a 4:25. And then I think this plays in their favor too. They go to Tennessee after that. That's a good two to come out of the chute with because the next week is going to be the Bears. You're going to have to score in that game. Now, I just want to jump to the Bears for a minute. They're doing a lot of talking. Have you noticed this? Ben Johnson is peacocking and he's Cadillacing a lot, man. Like, most points in the history of the NFL. Like, okay, dude, you better back this up.
Well, they give me a lot of vibes like Washington last year, where they're a team that kind of came out of nowhere, overperformed. And obviously they have high expectations for this year, but look at the Commanders last year. I know Jaden Daniels got hurt. That threw things out of whack a little bit, but that was a team who they got to the championship game. They kind of got ahead of themselves in terms of where they were in their rebuild. I do wonder if that's going to be the Bears this year because you talk about a tough division. That division is brutal.
Oh my God. No question. I mean, especially if O'Connell can get Kyler Murray right.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's no layups there.
And that's a team that won 14 games a couple years ago when they had Darnold as their quarterback.
Yeah, you're right. There is no I mean, it's almost like the polar opposite of the South. Like, I don't think there's a good team in the South.
No, I mean the Panthers are probably the best team by default, either them or Tampa.
Like they're a 500-ish. I know there's 17 games, but they're like a 9-8 team, I think.
Yeah, and as far as the week 2 game, like I'm not telling you the Eagles are going to lose Tennessee or anything.
You worry about that spot?
You look at Tennessee's roster; they have talent on defense. Like they did add pieces on defense. We know Salah's a defensive head coach. I think we talked about this a little last week. Like, Daboll, for whatever his shortcomings were as a head coach,
he's a good coordinator.
He has a track record as being a good offensive coordinator, so that game could be a little tougher, I think, than we give
I think that's
for.
A tricky spot where I think it's a closer game than Eagles fans think going in. I think the Eagles win it ultimately, but I agree with you. I think it's going to be kind of ugly and kind of tight.
Well, and it's why it's so big to just get that opener. And I was thinking about it the other day. And we know Nick's record in openers, but really the Eagles over the last 20, 25 years, I mean, they've been tremendous in opening games. Yep. And it does help when you can kind of get out in front because you fall behind, you fall 0-1. It does kind of feel like you're playing catch up a little bit.
Well, the trouble is this division, I'm sorry, this conference in totality, because the Bears are going to be good. The Rams are going to be good. The Niners have had a lot of injuries. We'll see if they're able to overcome that. But all those teams that you mentioned, the Bears and the Vikings and the Packers, et cetera, all those teams are good. there's a lot there, and you don't want to dig yourself a hole. And the Eagles have not done that. Don't get me wrong, but you don't want to dig yourself a hole. All right, when we come back, we are going to hear from the head coach himself, Nick Sirianni. We'll hear from you as well. 215-592-9494. That's how you hop aboard. He's Tom Kelly. I'm Rob Ellis. You are listening to the PDQ Restaurant Point of Sale Systems postgame show on the Eagles Radio Network, presented by PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865 on 94 WIP.
Hey, this is Brian Veazey, the new PNC Bank Regional President. Whether the third down pressure is on or off, our team plays to win. That's why PNC is proud to be the presenting sponsor of the Eagles Radio Network and why we are committed to moving your finances across the goal line. Because whether it's football or money, a strong, focused team is key to achieving your personal best. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Small business owners love what they do, and Verizon Business loves small business owners. That's why Verizon Business experts come directly to you, so you can spend more time doing what you love. Their experts show up on your schedule, ready to offer proven expertise and learn about the needs of your specific setup firsthand. And they won't quit until the solutions fit, even as your business grows. So save the time and stay where your business needs you the most. Verizon Business. Visit Verizon.com/book today to schedule an appointment with your local Verizon Business expert.
Birds fans will tell you the other team might not notice the early warning signs of trouble, like the quick hits, the pressured throws, the third and longs. Heart failure can sneak up on you too. The early warning signs can be subtle: sudden weight gain, loss of appetite, persistent cough, and more. It's a serious condition that needs expert care from a team like Deborah Heart and Lung Center. So if something's just not right, take a time out and ask a Deborah specialist. DemandDeborah.org.
If your water heater doesn't say Bradford White, you're missing out. Our products work harder, longer, and more efficiently. Every tank is manufactured right here in America using the finest components from around the world. Only available through trusted wholesale distributors and installed by pros, not DIY. We're professional grade from start to finish. When it comes to water heaters, leave it to the professionals. Bradford White, built to be the best.
For more than 10 years, I've trusted Lexus of Cherry Hill, and I love my new Lexus RX 350. You're invited to the Invitation to Lexus Summer Sales event at Lexus of Cherry Hill. Experience exhilarating performance and inspiring electrification. See the redesigned 2026 Lexus IS and the all-new 2026 Lexus ES available in hybrid and electric. Visit the family and veteran-owned 8-time J.D. Power Dealer of Excellence for the customer sales experience. Lexus of Cherry Hill. For J.D. Power Dealer of Excellence information, visit jdpower.com.
This is Jonathan Cans, third-generation owner of Marvin E. Cans Heating, Air Conditioning, and now Plumbing. Today, I want to talk about the huge rebates and the huge tree which fell on one of our customers' train units. They say it's hard to stop a train. Turns out it is. Because when I arrived, this thing was not only still running, but cooling too. So if you want huge rebates of up to $2,500 or tough equipment, call us now. These rebates won't be available in the heart of winter when your furnace breaks. So contact us at marvinecans.com. That's marvinekans.com.
Hi, I'm Michael from the War and Treaty. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. Only Novo Nordisk makes FDA-approved Ozempic. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
This Eagles season, get in the game at Acme. Save 5% when you shop at Acme on game days wearing your Eagles apparel. Plus, coming September 11th, enter the Swoop In and Win sweepstakes for your chance to win 2027 Eagles season tickets, groceries for a year, autographed jerseys, and more. Acme makes sure Eagles fans have everything they need to tailgate or host like a pro. Download their app to start shopping now. Acme, the official supermarket of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Hear Nick Sirianni's presser after the game on 94 WIP. This is the PDQ Restaurant Point of Sale Systems postgame show on the Eagles Radio Network.
McKee screens out on the far side of the field. Running, breaking tackles is Covey. Touchdown! Britton Covey.
That's more like it.
His first in the NFL, albeit in a preseason game.
All right, Britton Covey. He's making the team, Tom.
Of course he's making the team. Yeah, I mean, he's your punt returner.
He is.
He's your guy.
Generally sure-handed. Welcome back, everybody. PDQ Restaurant Point of Sale Systems post-game show.
Did have a muff tonight, though. And did field a punt at like the 1 yard line, which I don't know what that was about.
I'm screaming, do not field that, man. I'll give him credit. He turned something into nothing, but normally that is a very dangerous game to be playing.
That's one where it's like, are you that confident that you have a spot? That you're just going to have some fun and field a punt at the 1 yard line?
Maybe he knows something we don't know, Tom.
Well, I think he knows he's on the team.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, Merrill was excited.
Of course.
Yes.
I mean, it was an exciting play.
14-yarder right there.
Yeah. Historic first touchdown.
You know who else I'm sure was excited this was a much better effort is the head coach, Nick Sirianni. Here's what he had to say after tonight's game.
Did you think about bringing Tanner back out for that last drive? Why'd you go with Cole in that situation?
Yeah, again, we had a rep count we wanted to get to, and that's where we went right there in that situation. Obviously, still wanted to win. We knew Cole made some nice plays last game that he was in, had to protect the ball better in that situation. But, yeah, that's just what we decided to do.
Did you feel a little bit better about the offense, and particularly how things were going on the ground early on?
Yeah, I thought early on in the ground game looked really good. I thought that second team offensive line did well, and Will did well, and then Carson did some really good things when he was able to get in there, and so there were some positives, but at the end of the day, you get into a competitive situation like that, you always want to win, and there were some things that we did at the end that don't allow you to win.
How did you see Tanner improve upon his performance last week?
Yeah, I thought today he did some good things. There's going to be plays that we're going to have to correct, and then there was a lot of positives. I know stat wise he came out having a pretty good game, and so but obviously for all of us there's going to be corrections within it. But yeah, I thought he did some good things and made some nice plays. Had a couple fourth downs that we would have liked to convert. Not saying that those his fault in that situation, but those fourth downs hurt us not converting there.
Seemed like he got to his answers when there was pressures thrown at you, in particular when Carson was the outlet.
Yeah, he did. He did. He was good. He found his hots on a couple when they brought one more than we could protect, and I thought Sean did a good job of giving him answers there. I thought Sean did a nice job calling the game. And there was really good communication. I think I'm looking at the play clock again. Another day where I don't feel rushed to have to call a timeout or feeling like it's close to call a timeout. I just thought the operation was really good. It's a credit to our players. It's a credit to our offensive coaches and the communication that's going on there.
Coach, you and your players always talked about how important in practice is situation, practice plays. And did you get a lot of things on film today? You certainly had a lot of opportunities for situation football. Do you think you got a lot on film to work on during the week?
Yeah, anytime you step out in the field, you're going to get some good things to coach from and look at. And so, we'll look at that. There's some situational things beyond red zone, third down that, we're just not going to put on tape right at this particular time. So those are things that we discuss throughout the week, throughout preseason. In this situation, we're going to do this. In this situation, we're going to do that. And so, again, we get a lot more of that work in practice, particularly when it becomes to specific things within 2 minute and 4 minute and stuff like that. But some of the third downs, the red zone, and even the 2 minute will be some good things to study and learn from.
When it comes to Andy, the numbers have been great these first two games, but do you factor in experience, what you know about him when you're looking at that number 2 job?
Yeah, I think both the guys are battling. I'm really confident in both the guys, and we'll see where that goes. Again, like I said, it's still a competition. The reason Andy's going in first, and in practice they're still rotating. Andy's going in first because he's not going to play quite as much as Tanner because he has had more experience, and Tanner he has more experience within this type of system, and Tanner needs to continue to play there because I think you saw the improvements there from Tanner, and so we got to continue to give both of them opportunities within practice and potentially games. We'll see how next week goes, and obviously I'm not there yet. But that was the plan today to go in. But everything is accounted for. Yes, Jeff, to answer your question.
With Trotter, how does he make you feel about the depth in the inside linebacker room overall?
Yeah, I think when you have guys that, like, Trot has contributed on this football team for the past 2 years, and it's a great indicator of how defensive players can be, of how they do on special teams. And Trot has been a special teams ace for us for the last couple years. We really rely on him in those situations, so we know that, because of how much space and how much room there is on special teams, they got to come up and get off blocks. They have to make tackles in the open field, and so that gives you a lot of confidence there. And then every time he seems to step out and play a game or in practice, he does a good job. And I think he's an instinctive player. He works his butt off. He's physical. And I think I just continue to see him get better. So I really like that room. Smile does an awesome job. And I feel like when we're watching team meetings, he's consistently on the tape of like, man, this is how you're supposed to block, destruct. This is how you're supposed to strip attempt. And then Chance had a good day today, and I'm excited about Deontay. And then, Brandon George came in off the street last week and made 2 special teams tackles. So, and Bobby King, I just think is a phenomenal linebacker coach of coaching the fundamentals. Because at the end of the day, it's about how you get off blocks, and it's how you tackle and how you can lead the unit and get everybody lined up. And I can't say enough good things about Bobby of how he's developed these guys as well. And so, I love that room, and I think they're playing good football right now, and we'll look at the tape and get more answers.
Since we didn't talk to you after the second joint practice, what would you make of how the first unit in particular performed in those red zones, both offense, defense?
Yeah, there was good, there was bad. It was back and forth practice. We went through the tape obviously a couple days ago and watched it with the guys as an offensive unit, as a team, as position coaches in position meetings, and so it was good to go against a quality opponent and who's well coached. The hospitality here was great. We were able to get a lot of good work in. Sometimes when you have 2 days of work, you can hit every situation, right? When you only have 1 day, and there's benefits of going 1 day, there's benefits of going 2 days. But we were able to get 2 really good days where we're hitting, red zone, and we're hitting 2-minute both days, and we're hitting first and second down and get back on track stuff and third down. So there was a lot of good that we take from that. I think that, again, joint practices are if the guys don't play in preseason, joint practice is such a pivotal step for particularly your ones. And I also think when you're on the road, it's a really good connector. The guys have nothing else to do but, hang out with each other. It's almost like being away for training camp. Obviously we don't go away for training camp, and I like being in Philadelphia. Yeah, it's a great connector, and we really value that.
Looked like Ty Robinson continued to come to life tonight with 2 couple sacks.
He did a nice job, and he continues to do a nice job and have a nice preseason. He's showing that knack to rush the passer, but I also think he's doing a good job of defeating blocks and doing a good job in the run game. Again, I'll have to watch the tape from today. I think the splash plays obviously were there, but, I do think that just another really good – I can't say enough about Clint Hurt either, of how he works the fundamentals with his guys, and I really value him and everything that he brings to this football team, and he does a great job. These guys play hard for him, and they continue to get better at the fundamentals as well. And that's our job as coaches, is to take players from the one level and bring them up another level through all those different things, particularly fundamental coaching. And Clint's done a nice job, and obviously Ty has as well.
All right, I see what you did there, Jeff McLean. Ty Robinson coming to life.
Oh yeah, I didn't catch that in real time.
You all right over there, Tom?
Yeah, I'm all right. I just didn't catch that one, but that's a good one. Yeah,
even Nick gave it a little chuckle
off the Vic Fangio thing. Yeah, no, my bad.
Are you okay?
I'm okay.
Right.
Yeah, I just missed that one.
All right, we got another hour,
Rob,
brother.
I can't catch everything. Man.
Stay strong, man.
Come on,
Tom Strong over there. I thought that was the other thing. I thought this was earlier. in the
did go over my head, Buzz,
in the
yes.
presser. You knew Buzz was
Yeah.
going to make a height joke there somehow. I even let Buzz's comment go, and you pointed it out.
I was
trying to be nice.
It was a good joke.
In our ears, Buzz was taking a shot at you.
Yes, I had to give him credit.
Okay. Early in the press conference, he talked about, I didn't really have to look up and worry about possibly taking a timeout with the plays coming in late. That's 100% a reference to the way it was last season, where Jalen's getting up to the line of scrimmage with very little time. And I don't think Nick was purposely trying to take a jab at Kevin Petula or anything like that, but we know that was an issue last year.
Well, I absolutely don't think Nick would ever consider taking a jab at Kevin Petula. That's his guy. Of course he's not going to take a jab at him.
However,
but yeah.
Just saying that tells you that it's a conscious thing with them.
Yeah, and we all know that was a big issue for this team last year, was they had trouble getting the plays in on time, to the point where the players talked about it. Jordan Mailata talked about it basically every week on Mondays. So, yeah, it was a problem, and hopefully that's something that gets fixed, and hopefully that's a sign that a lot of the things that plagued them last year.
Yeah, look, and let's carry that over to the next segment, and we'll take your phone calls as well. We see you, 215-592-9494. We also still have a Tom Kelly recap in the holster. That baby is ready to come out firing, and Tom's itching.
There was a lot more to recap than last week tonight.
You did have more material.
Yeah,
yes.
This was much more getting me ready for the regular season.
You did yeoman's work last week, but you're always in midseason form. We don't worry about that. PDQ Restaurant, Point of Sale Systems, postgame show, Tom Kelly, Rob Ellis. Eagles lose 24-21 to the Patriots. We'll talk about that, get your phone calls, and again, Tom's recap coming up. Don't go anywhere on the Eagles Radio Network, presented by PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865 on 94 WIP.
You know that feeling when you've worked hard all year and you just deserve something nice? Yeah, me too. This Labor Day, treat yourself at Bucks County Estate Traders and save 20 to 50% off store-wide. That piece you've had your eye on? Go get it. You've earned it. August 28th through September 7th only at Bucks County Estate Traders. Reward yourself. You've worked for it. Visit buckscountyestatetraders.com or their showroom in Hatfield. Bucks County Estate Traders, the region's largest high-end furniture destination.
Finally, football season's here, and we all know the biggest games come down to making the right call. Same goes for the biggest decision of your life. John Ritchie here. When I was ready to pop the question, I trusted Benari Jewelers. They've got a great selection of diamonds for every budget and people who actually listen and help you get it right. They even created a one-of-a-kind ring for me and Alicia. When it's meant to be, it's Benari. Benari Jewelers in Exton and Newtown Square and BenariJewelers.com.
When your AC loses its cool or your water heater loses its heat, it throws your whole day off. You can't think straight. You're like, what grade are my kids in? I'm not left-handed. There's only one cure. WM Henderson Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical. We'll show up same day and get your AC or hot water or wiring back in shape with 100% satisfaction and no emergency service fees ever. WM Henderson will get you thinking straight until you forget your internet password again. Schedule now at WMHenderson.com.
The working families of La Una Labor's District Council of Pennsylvania, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia are proud contributors to all aspects of growth in this great city. The Labor's District Council provides safe, well-trained, productive workers who enable projects to be done on time and under budget. We appreciate our signatory contractors and their commitment to fairness and equality. Laborers, we're building a better future today.
Brought to you by the Laborers District Council Licit Fund.
At this point, the entire Delaware Valley is wondering, how low can Jack go? It's time to see for yourself at Dell Chevrolet. Jack's dropping it lower than ever with huge Dell discounts, low APR % financing, and no money down available every day on a brand new vehicle. Only at Dell Chevy, located on Route 30 in Paoli. Online at DellChevrolet.com. If you're worried you're going to pay too much for your next car, you don't know Jack. Se habla español. Together, let's drive.
Jack, sell them for less.
Dear Eagles fans, Toyota's a proud partner of the Philadelphia Eagles and official automotive partner of the NFL. The Toyota Corolla and Camry make big plays with style and efficiency. RAV4 is an all-hybrid game changer. Grand Highlander's got room for your whole squad. And the rugged Tacoma and Tundra control the line of scrimmage. Visit Toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places.
Has your air conditioner struggled to keep up this summer? Don't wait for a costly breakdown. Now is a great time to replace your old system while you can still enjoy better cooling today and be ready for the heating season ahead. From now through November 20th, your local Carrier dealer may be offering up to $2,100 in instant rebates and 60 months 0% APR financing to help make a new Carrier system more affordable. To find a local Carrier contractor, visit nopaycarrier.com. Carrier, turn to the experts.
Our fans deserve the same passion in the broadcast that they bring to the stadium. That's why I trust Rothman Orthopedics. Calling a game takes concentration. Living with pain makes it hard to stay focused. Having surgery at Rothman was one of the best decisions I've ever made. If you're looking for expert orthopedic care from a team that's helped our community stay active for over 50 years, rely on Rothman. Schedule your appointment at rothmanortho.com. That's rothmanortho.com.
Auto Lenders chooses their cars like the birds pick their players. They carefully scout only the very best. Some are built for speed, some for power, some for utility. And with their rookies, there's barely any mileage on them, so their upside is incredible. You see, Auto Lenders has a deep bench, thousands of one-owner, low-mileage vehicles, all for thousands less than the competition. So we can't be beat like the birds. Fly, Auto Lenders, fly. Proud sponsor of this year's coin toss.
Breaking down the Eagles-Patriots game Monday on the afternoon show, 2 to 6 on 94 WIP.
This is the PDQ Restaurant Point of Sale Systems postgame show on the Eagles Radio Network.
Motion goes far side of the field. DeVito is hit as he takes the snap. Barreling in is Jeremiah Trotter.
You cannot time up the blitz any better than Trotter just timed up that blitz.
5 tackles, a sack. Jeremiah Trotter, for the time that he was in there, was all over the place. Welcome back into the PDQ Restaurant Point of Sale Systems post-game show. Tom Kelly, Rob Ellis. On a night where the Eagles lose to the Patriots, had a chance at the end of the game. They brought the closer in.
Cole Payton. I mean, you talk about a tough spot to be brought into.
He hadn't played all game.
Yeah, there's 58 seconds left. Hey, kid, go down and get us some field goal range to tie the game.
Yeah, take care of business. Now, it didn't end up happening. He breathed a little bit of life into the first preseason game, but man, that was not easy.
Well, that was another thing, and correct me if I'm wrong here, because obviously I didn't catch everything during the Nick presser, but he said something about the Cole Payton thing was they had a rep number they wanted to get him in. It's like you didn't even know if you're going to have a possession. What are you talking about?
I think
it's not the truth.
I think it was more of Tanner McKee was sort of at his limit. I don't know.
He played like 3.5 quarters of football.
I don't know, man.
And the 58 seconds just would have been too much.
That was the impression I got, but who knows?
That was an odd
load
reason.
management.
It's okay to just say, yeah, we wanted to put him in and see what he could do in that kind of situation.
In kind of a hectic situation. All right, let's go to the phones. Brian in Middletown. Brian, you're on the Eagles postgame show. What's up, Brian?
Hey, good evening, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you.
Hey, listen, so, it looks to me like Tanner McKee is probably won that backup quarterback position. I really kind of feel more comfortable with him. Andy Dalton is older, and, obviously we've seen Tanner McKee play. I know it's in a different system, but to me, I like his height. I think he can see the field much better. I like, by the way, just speaking about the offense, I like the use of the running backs in the passing game, use of screenplays.
Hopefully we see more of that during the regular season than we've seen the last few years, for sure.
Absolutely. I'm encouraged about the backup offensive line. They really were raving about them on the TV broadcast, about how well these guys are doing, particularly the interior part of the O-line. So that's all good. And then my one question for you guys is, why is Quez Watkins here? I really don't need
That's a great question,
really
Brian. Impossible to answer. You know what was really interesting, Brian, at the end of the radio broadcast with Merrill and Mike? So Quez Watkins had a rough kick return. This was after kind of a rough game in general. Mike, he's not a good kick returner. Like when Merrill's saying that, look, Brian, rest assured, he isn't going to be on this team. If I can, there's no other way I can put it. Yeah.
Well, because the issue with Quez Watkins, he is a terrible. He doesn't come back for the football. Like he's a liability. in terms of some of these targeted pass plays towards him, he seems to allow the defensive back to kind of undercut him or out-physical him. I don't want to see that. I really can't. These balls are going to be going in tight spaces, particularly with using the middle of the field. You can't allow the defensive back to kind of go over you or undercut you. That's how you get interceptions. But other than that, I'm feeling a little bit more encouraged about the offense. I certainly feel this way. I think our defense is going to be stout.
Yeah, I do too.
And so we just need the offense to be efficient and consistent. All right, thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, Brian. Yeah, I think Quez Watkins is what amounts to a training camp body at this point. And yeah, he had opportunities. I think 3 targets, no catches. He doesn't return it well. I think most Eagles fans were shocked he was still on the roster when they saw him last week.
I'm not going to lie, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know until the game last week. And, not to, not bitter about it or anything, but it's the least talked about huge play of that Super Bowl.
Oh, my God.
Is him not being able to make that catch.
100%.
If he makes that catch, there's a very real chance the Eagles win that game. So
I don't. He's never getting let off the hook for me.
No. So I don't think he's making the team. But one other thing that Brian said, Rob, that, and I don't know if this was just, a tonight thing or whether this is a sign of anything to come, because we know the Eagles are not going to show all their cards and stuff. It was striking to me how many screens they ran.
Yeah.
Like when Steele was in the game, like that middle screen especially, because when the Eagles used to run screens a lot when Andy was here and stuff.
Brian Westbrook was great at it.
Right. It wasn't like that kind of middle screen, though. It was always kind of the outside. I do kind of like that kind of element to the offense, though, because I know Saquon doesn't have, like, the best hands. He obviously had the big drop against
he doesn't
Atlanta.
have terrible hands.
Right.
But yeah, I hear
a
you.
few years ago. But, like, that's a play where, like, if you can get Saquon into some open space, get him behind those offensive linemen, I like the idea of doing that a little more.
I'm a big fan of a tight end screen as well. But, yeah, I agree with you. I think that is part of what we're hearing here is that the running backs are going to be more, incorporated into the passing game, which I think lends to them just not being so damn predictable.
Yeah.
And we saw so little of that last year that I think we will see some more of that this year.
And that's
sure.
another thing that, like, plays into a guy like Shipley's favor, because he can catch the ball, and maybe he gets more opportunities kind of in those situations.
Good point. Let's go to Peter in Lawrenceville. Peter, you're on the Eagles postgame show.
Hi, guys. How are
Peter.
you? Hi, Tom.
What's up, Peter?
They're 0-2. Usually, I don't take stock in preseason. You're 0-2. And after listening to Sirianni, I felt like saying, there goes the next coach of the New England Patriots. You're
Sirianni?
0-2.
They're firing Vrabel? Who just took him to the Super Bowl?
Let's put it this way. With the way Vrabel handled himself on the off season, he's lucky to have a job. If I was the owner, I would have fired him.
And
my take,
hiring Sirianni, who's under contract from the Eagles?
Well, who knows? Because if the Eagles do not do it this year, you're seeing Mike Tomlin come from the broadcast booth into the head coach.
I don't think that's the kind of guy the Eagles would have any interest in. I mean, Sirianni, I still think they like Sirianni, and I think, it would need to go really badly for them to make a move there. But even so, I don't think a Mike Tomlin guy would be the kind of guy they'd be after.
I'm amazed at these kind of calls. I am. All the guy's done is win. That's all he's done. You've won one with him. He's taken you to one, and he's been in the playoffs every year as a head coach. And this guy's worried that they're 0-2 in the preseason.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, being
it's a ridiculous call and a ridiculous point.
Yeah, being 0-2 in the preseason doesn't matter.
Gives a flying bleep that they're 0-2 in the preseason.
I hear you.
Other than Peter and Lawrenceville.
Yeah, I get it. But
I don't think you get it.
No,
Tom.
I do get it. I like Peter. I understand that being 0-2 in the preseason doesn't matter. But, like, if this season was a disaster, you think it would be totally out of the realm of possibility?
I don't think it's out of the realm, but we're jumping into worst case hypotheticals right now.
Yeah.
On August 20, whatever that.
No, this preseason game does not mean anything in terms of Nick Sirianni's future. I would agree with you 100%.
Thanks, Tom. So in all seriousness, I think it's a big year for the coach, and I think it's a big year for the quarterback.
Yeah.
Because especially in terms of Jalen, if you can't adapt to this new system, yeah.
Right, because
then I think all bets are off.
Like, that's the thing. I mean, all the things we say about Nick, we could say the same things about Jalen.
Correct.
And I don't think anybody would say it's crazy to think that Jalen might not be here next year.
Yeah, I think there is a lack of appreciation for both, I guess was my point in general for both guys. 215-592-9494. We're going to come back. Tom's got a recap of everything that went down for us, and we got a lot more to do. We got you till 12:30, so don't move. Tom Kelly, Rob Ellis, PDQ Restaurant, Point of Sale Systems postgame show on the Eagles Radio Network, presented by PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865 on 94 WIP.
Operating engineers are the men and women that move mountains. And the Engineers Labor Employer Cooperative, ELEC, puts them to work. They create opportunities for the men, women, and union signatory contractors of Local 825, repaving our roads, keeping our homes bright and warm, and even building our favorite team stadium. We understand infrastructure. That's why ELEC and Local 825 are ready to get to work.
Hey, this is Brian Veazey, the new PNC Bank Regional President. Sticking to the fundamentals and not wavering from the game plan is a great philosophy for football and banking. And for 160 years, that's been the winning strategy behind PNC's approach to helping our customers. Locally, dedicated PNC teams are in formation to help fans receive sound and reliable, personalized financial advice. Because, as we see it, a win for them is a win for the greater Philadelphia community. PNC Bank, National Association, member FDIC.
Summer is such a special time to get engaged, and at Cozy Jewelers in Newtown Square, I'd love to help you find the perfect ring for that moment. I'm Paul Cozy, and whether you're looking to create something completely custom or want help selecting a beautiful diamond and ring that's ready to go, I'll personally work with you every step of the way. Everything we do is handled in-house right here at Cozy Jewelers, which makes the process personal, comfortable, and truly one of a kind. If you're thinking about taking that next step this summer, come see me at Cozy Jewelers, and let's make the ring that's meant for your future fiancé.
Where will Jalen look this year? Left, right, over the middle? He's a smart guy. He'll be looking for the Deborah Heart and Lung Center Red Zone, and with good reason. Like the Birds, Deborah has raised the bar on cardiac excellence by being named a high-performing hospital by U.S. News and World Report. And our alliance with Cleveland Clinic Heart, Vascular, and Thoracic Institute means that our patients get the highest quality of care that they deserve. After all, when it's your heart, your red zone, you don't take chances. DemandDeborah.org.
At Bradford White, we know trust is everything. That's why for over 140 years, our water heaters have been made right here in the U.S., using the finest materials and components from around the world. We also believe trust is earned, and that's why our water heaters are for professional installation only, making sure you always have reliable hot water when you need it. Because comfort isn't optional, it's daily life. Call your local plumbing professional today and ask for Bradford White, built to be the best.
Kick off game day the right way this season with Hers, the snack that's rooted in Philly. They've been a hometown favorite for nearly 8 decades and counting. So when you say their first team all flavor, you can taste it. Hers runs a deep roster of unbelievable flavors like zesty, sour cream and onion, sweet and smoky honey barbecue, and slightly spicy jalapeno kettle chips. So next Birds game, you can't help but go for 2. Bags, that is. Hers, rooted in flavor.
This is Merrill Reese. When it comes to your roof, it's like football. Good planning is essential. That's why I've got a brand new gorgeous roof from Impriano Roofing. Jack Impriano and his 4 sons are a true family business, serving our area for 5 decades. Accountability plus. It's good to get a brand new roof from Impriano Roofing. Visit Impriano.com. That's Impriano.com. The best homes have an Impriano roof.
Are you a carpenter or thinking about your future career? It's time to know your worth and trade up. Union carpenters bring home higher pay, receive full benefits, and have real protections on the job. And if you're a student or career seeker, you can start a hands-on career that's debt-free and built to last. This isn't just a new job. It's a better future for you and your family. Learn more at tradeupcarpenters.com.
This Eagles season, get in the game at Acme. Save 5% when you shop at Acme on game days wearing your Eagles apparel. Plus, coming September 11th, enter the Swoop In and Win sweepstakes for your chance to win 2027 Eagles season tickets, groceries for a year, autographed jerseys, and more. Acme makes sure Eagles fans have everything they need to tailgate or host like a pro. Download their app to start shopping now. Acme, the official supermarket of the Philadelphia Eagles.
We're going to talk about Eagles Pats Monday from 2 to 6 on the WIP Afternoon Show with Ike, Spike, and Fritz.
This is the PDQ Restaurant Point of Sale Systems postgame show on the Eagles Radio Network.
DeVito had a bomb the last time to Williams. He's back again. He's looking. He's hit. He's sacked. And this one goes to Ty Robinson. Hey, Ty Robinson is really playing.
All right, welcome back, everybody. PDQ Restaurant Point of Sale Systems postgame show. Tom Kelly, Rob Ellis. There was a really funny sequence, Tom, where Merrill referenced Tommy DeVito, who's the backup quarterback in New England who played a lot tonight, and called him Tommy Cutlets.
Yep.
And then Mike informed him now that he goes by Tommy Two Chains.
Is that right?
Yeah, he's Tommy Two Chains now.
Oh, okay.
You didn't know this?
I didn't.
All
I
right.
thought he was still Tommy Cutlets.
I need you to keep up what's happening with Tommy DeVito.
I didn't even know he's on the Patriots before tonight.
So then Mike says to Merrill, you familiar with the artist Two Chains? And Merrill's like, not all that familiar,
Now,
Mike.
it would have been awesome if Merrill started just rapping off
or
Two Chainz
or just reeled off even like a little bit of, yeah. And then Mike's like, tell you the truth, I'm not really either.
Okay.
It was just classic of those two and very funny. You know what else is classic? Anytime I can get a recap from Tom Kelly. Tom, take it away.
Thanks, Rob. After a couple joint practices in Foxborough, the Eagles and Pats took the field for preseason game number 2. For the second straight week, Andy Dalton made the start at quarterback, and once again, he got off to a slow start, missing multiple open receivers on the first drive, forcing a punt. So a similar start for the offense. Same could be said for one player in particular on defense, as Jeremiah Trotter Jr., who stood out last week, first prevented Tommy DeVito from springing a big gain on a scramble. Then a few plays later,
motion to the far side of the field. DeVito is hit as he takes the snap. Barreling in is Jeremiah Trotter.
You cannot time up the blitz any better than Trotter just timed up that blitz.
Trotter right up the middle gets the sack. New England would have to punt, giving it back to Dalton in the offense. Second drive much better as the Birds relied on Will Shipley and strong offensive line play to move into New England territory. 4th and 1 from the 40. Dalton connects with Darius Cooper for 13 to extend the drive. A few plays later, second and goal from the 4.
Second and goal. Again to Shipley, up the middle, touchdown! Eagles score first.
Will Shipley, a 4-yard touchdown run, extra point good, 7-0 Eagles. Shipley, a workhorse on that drive, as he carried 9 times for 33 yards in the score. Will Shipley is the Pierce Phelps Carrier of the game. The Carrier of the game is brought to you by Pierce Phelps and your trusted Carrier air conditioning and heating contractor. Visit nopaycarrier.com. Fast forward now, Eagles up 7-3 midway through the second. New England on the move. 3rd and 7 from the Birds' 39.
Shotgun. Bracketed on both sides is DeVito. He's back. Here comes the rush. They've got him in midfield. It's Ty Robinson. You bet it is.
Ty Robinson, who had a big sack last week, does it again, driving the Patriots out of field goal range and forcing a punt. So the defense gets a stop there, but after an Eagle punt, New England got it back. And this time, Tommy DeVito took a shot downfield.
DeVito in the gun. He's back again. He lets it go. Going deep, and it is caught. And down the sideline, and in for a touchdown goes Kyle Williams.
Well, and that's
great
Ambry
throw
Thomas
by
again.
DeVito, and that was a 69-yard bomb.
DeVito hits Kyle Williams on a go ball. Ambry Thomas beaten in coverage. 69-yard touchdown, extra point good. 10-7 Patriots late in the second. Eagles down 3. Tanner McKee now in the game, and he puts together a beautiful drive, finding Carson Steele for back-to-back gains of 16 and 14. Tack on a roughing the passer, and all of a sudden the Birds were in the red zone. 2nd and 10 for the 14. Back to the air.
McKee screens out on the far side of the field. Running, breaking tackles is Covey. Touchdown! Britton Covey.
That's more like it.
His first in the NFL. albeit in a preseason game.
Merrill fired up as Britton Covey scores a 14-yard touchdown reception, extra point good, and the Eagles took a 14-10 lead into the halftime locker room. After a scoreless third, we pick things up in the fourth quarter. Patriots in the red zone, 3rd and 9 from the 12. They keep it on the ground. Lan Larison runs for 10 down to the 2. Next play.
And they're going to hurry up to the line of scrimmage.
Give. Larison. He dives. He's in. Touchdown. And the Patriots regain the lead on the 2-yard run by Larison.
Larison takes it in for the 2-yard score. Extra point good. 17-14, Patriots back in front. After an Eagles punt, the defense needed to make something happen. And continuing with the theme of the night, a player who made a big play last week did so again.
It is 2nd down and 7. Again, they go with an offset I. Have a little trouble getting it off. And finally, the Eagles miss a couple of tackles. But then the ball is fumbled. The ball is fumbled and recovered by the Eagles.
You're going to get your wish.
It was fumbled by Hasty on the far side, and the Eagles recover.
John Wade, who forced a fumble last week, able to do so again as he punched it out from Jermichael Hasty's grasp. Eagles recover. They take over right around midfield. Ensuing drive, McKee still in at quarterback. 2nd and 22. He hits Eric Ezekama for 17 to make it 3rd manageable. Next play.
Eagles are definitely in 4-down territory. Trips left. Steele the single setback. They have to get down to the 15. McKee floats it out of the flat. He's got Steele, who leaps over a man and goes in for the touchdown. Leaped over a man at the 2 and scored on a 20-yard touchdown play. And the Eagles regain the lead.
McKee lobs it over the defender coming on a blitz right into the arms of Carson Steele for a 20-yard touchdown. Extra point good, 21-17 Birds with 3:39 to play. Unfortunately, though, the defense could not hang on. Baron Morton finds Nick DeGennaro for a 37-yard touchdown to make it 24-21. That is the final score as New England wins it. Some stats from this one. Tanner McKee, 16-22 for 173 yards and 2 touchdowns. Dalton went 3 of 10 for 44 yards. Big night for Carson Steele. He had 117 all-purpose yards and a touchdown. Next up, the Eagles close out the preseason at the Link Friday night at 8 against the Bengals. You can hear all the action right here on 94 WIP. Stay tuned. More of the postgame show with Rob Ellis and I coming up. I'm Tom Kelly, and this is the Eagles Radio Network, presented by PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865 on 94 WIP.
Ready, set, summer with the Honda Summer Event. Make every mile count with a great deal on an Accord or Accord Hybrid with a standard turbocharged engine or available hybrid powertrain. Honda has all you need to get summer ready with the most fuel-efficient full-line automaker in America. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 4.49% APR on a 2026 Accord.
See dealer for financing details. Based on EPA estimate of 2024 large full-line automaker fleet-wide fuel economy. EPA Automotive Trends Report 2025.
Getting hurt at work isn't a game. Your paycheck, your health, and your future can all be on the line. That's why at Stern & Cohen, we don't rely on actors, props, or gimmicks to get your attention. We rely on results. We're Philadelphia's workers' compensation lawyers with a winning track record and a team ready to fight for you. Call 215-999-1443 or visit SternCohenLaw.com for a free consultation. Stern & Cohen, because when the stakes are real, winning matters.
The summer heat means it's time to crank up the AC again, which means it's time for you to go Gaida. Keep your home cooling more efficiently and save on high energy bills by replacing your old, drafty, inefficient windows and doors with my good friends at Gaida Door & Window. Right now, Gaida is offering their best discounts of the year with their big 40% off summer sales event on all expertly installed windows and doors. Receive 40% off each window you buy. That's right, 40% off all high-performance, energy-efficient triple-pane windows. And get 40% off any door, including insulated entry doors, patio doors, garage doors, and storm doors. Plus, get your project started today with no money down and pay it off interest-free for up to 18 full months. All prior sales excluded, minimum purchase required. Don't let these big discounts pass you by. Go Gaida today to take advantage of these limited-time savings savings by calling to schedule a free in-home estimate at 877-GO-GUIDA or visit them at GoGuida.com. That's go, GUIDA.com.
Finally, football season's here, and we all know the biggest games come down to making the right call. Same goes for the biggest decision of your life. John Ritchie here. When I was ready to pop the question, I trusted Benari Jewelers. They've got a great selection of diamonds for every budget and people who actually listen and help you get it right. They even created a one-of-a-kind ring for me and Alicia. When it's meant to be, it's Benari. Benari Jewelers in Exton and Newtown Square and BenariJewelers.com.
The working families of La Una Labor's District Council of Pennsylvania, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia are proud contributors to all aspects of growth in this great city. The Labor's District Council provides safe, well-trained, productive workers who enable projects to be done on time and under budget. We appreciate our signatory contractors and their commitment to fairness and equality. Laborers, we're building a better future today.
Brought to you by the Laborers District Council Licit Fund.
At this point, the entire Delaware Valley is wondering, how low can Jack go? It's time to see for yourself at Dell Chevrolet. Jack's dropping it lower than ever with huge Dell discounts, low APR % financing, and no money down available every day on a brand new vehicle. Only at Dell Chevy, located on Route 30 in Paoli. Online at DellChevrolet.com. If you're worried you're going to pay too much for your next car, you don't know Jack. Se habla español. Together, let's drive.
Jack, sell them for less. When it's game time for your business, trust Imperial Brady to get you across the goal line. As a national distributor of cleaning, facility care, food service, and industrial packaging supplies, they equip your team with the right gear and the playbook to match. Fast delivery, reliable results. Real pros who know the field. At Imperial Brady, they don't just deliver boxes, they're calling winning plays. To get started, visit ImperialBrady.com. Proud partner in sustainability of the Philadelphia Eagles.
Are you a carpenter or thinking about your future career? It's time to know your worth and trade up. Union carpenters bring home higher pay, receive full benefits, and have real protections on the job. And if you're a student or career seeker, you can start a hands-on career that's debt-free and built to last. This isn't just a new job. It's a better future for you and your family. Learn more at tradeupcarpenters.com.
94 WIP HD1 Philadelphia. Powered by the Tasty Cake Studios and Odyssey Station.
This is the PDQ Restaurant Point of Sale Systems postgame show on the Eagles Radio Network.
Back again goes Beasley. He looks, he's hit, he fumbles, and the Patriots have the ball and the game. That's it. The hit by Hutchins.
Was a fumble recovered by the defense.
Quintavious Hutchins.
Yeah, I was smelling a victory there, man. I was smelling the closer coming in, Tom.
You weren't smelling a victory. You were smelling a tie. That's what you were smelling. Because that's what that was setting up for, was a Jake Elliott, kick to tie the game up. Which, by the way, I
want to hold on. I want to talk about that. PDQ Restaurant Point of Sale Systems post-game show. Tom Kelly, Rob Ellis. All right, pick up where you were.
There was a 4th and 3.
Yes.
That the Eagles, and typically in the preseason, I say go for it, be aggressive, whatever.
I'm with you.
But you could have kicked a 58-yard field goal, and I guess that's what you're thinking of too. I wanted to see Jake Elliott come out and kick the field goal.
Me too.
I mean, that's a big question heading into this year. We really, I don't even know if he's attempted one this preseason.
Last week.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He did.
He missed 2 last week, and you have a new long snapper.
Yeah.
And there was no competition brought in. I don't understand it.
It's a big-time storyline that honestly just has not been talked about enough.
About Jake Elliott. I am. He's been a great Eagle and a money kicker for a long time. But, man, the way last year went,
and 2020,
I am very concerned.
And remember in 24, he was shaky going into the playoffs. I still had confidence in him overall, and he was good in the Super Bowl. He made the kicks he needed to make in the Super Bowl. But, yeah, he hasn't been, the Jake Elliott who we've been able to rely on in a few years now.
No, and you and I were doing the postgame show after the 49er loss. And listen, there was a million reasons they lost that game. One of them was chasing the points after the missed PAT. Early in that game. So, don't overlook that. I think the Eagles absolutely should have brought somebody in to push him this year. I understand he's got the contract and the money and all that. I get it, that's a big piece of this thing and probably the reason why. But I'm with you. I'm all for, hey, let's put the offense in these situations where it's like game situations and all that. I think you need to do the same thing with the kicker.
Yeah,
I do.
Absolutely. And, for a guy like Jake Elliott, sure, you can say, well, it's preseason. This is a guy who's kicked in Super Bowls. He's not going to have that kind of pressure. But, it might not be a pressure thing with him. It might just be kind of a talent thing. And this has been the issue the last couple of years. And in that spot of the game, I would have wanted to see him kick that long field goal.
I hope, obviously, you hope it's mechanics, more than anything else, and they can straighten this out. But it was... Braden Mann didn't have a good week last week. I knew he'd bounce back and be fine. I don't have that same feeling anymore about Jake Elliott.
Well, and this is the thing. For a team that, like we talked about, offense probably not going to be great early. They're going to need to win the games on defense. Going to need to win the games kind of, I guess the saying, in the margins a little bit.
Yeah.
You can't have your special teams be shoddy.
Yep.
And, that's something that after last year is absolutely a question mark.
That's fair. Let's go to Josh. He's in North Jersey. Josh, you're on the Eagles postgame show.
Man, it's always a pleasure.
Hey, Josh.
I had to call because that guy with the call about 0-2 in the preseason, I haven't called in a while, but I had to call.
It was an interesting take. Somehow Sirianni
about?
Was going to New England, and Mike
Tomlin
was coming here.
Yeah. So I have a couple observations about the game, and then I got big picture about the Birds. A couple of things about the game. I think the fact that the offensive line, the backup offensive line, being able to displace a lot of guys was very exciting to see. I think last year with the quality of the offensive line and the health of them, at least seeing some quality backup play was nice to see. Them being able to displace people, I thought, tonight.
Yeah,
I think Markel Bell, left tackle,
I agree with
he's
you.
going to be a problem.
Yeah, he I went into this thing not, waiting to see what these guys look like, thinking Fred Johnson's the only, dependable backup. But I feel good. I feel good about Lampkin, and I feel really good about Bell and Drew Kendall, for that matter.
Well, Bell, we talked about it earlier.
Yeah,
and Majors. Majors has done a pretty solid job.
But Bell especially, he just moves people. Seeing in this game, a run play, he's just blocking a guy 7 yards down the field, and there's nothing defender can even do about it.
He's like a solar eclipse, man, when he's out there.
Yeah. You guys know who flashed a little bit for me tonight, too, observationally? 36, Latu. I think that third tight end spot, him being able to crush the defensive end, outside linebacker, he moved a lot of people tonight. And, with the fact that Stowers is probably not NFL ready, I'm very interested to see what they do with that third slot at tight end, because that's going to be, a big roster spot with who they keep and who they don't keep. That it's going to be tough, the roster. Late, who they keep and who they don't keep.
I'm not loving that. I'm not loving the depth at all there.
Well, I think it's going to be interesting to see how many tight ends they keep here, because you got to imagine, Goddard, Stowers, and Muntz, the blocking tight end.
Absolutely, those three are in.
They're all locks. So then you got Calcaterra. Jenkins, I don't think is going to make the team. Stone Smart, Latu. You got some spots. I wonder if Calcaterra could be a casualty.
I think he's gone.
Yeah.
I do.
I think he's gone. Me too. Yep. I just think the quality of play at tight end, they're going to want people to run the ball, smash people in the mouth, crush that D gap, so that Saquon can rip something upfield. Because I really do believe, big picture, this offense, it's going to be designed with Saquon getting the rock and him getting one-on-one with a safety a lot this year. I feel like that's what's going to be our offense.
Yeah.
And I think, to be honest, he's a 60-40% guy making someone miss. So I think if you scheme the offense that way, like you had said with the screen passes, one thing we don't talk about this offseason is yak. We just were such a crappy yak team last year.
Yep.
And when you talk about the screen game and, throwing the flats, the running back, that's going to inflate Jalen Hurts' passing numbers. And we always have been dogging Jalen Hurts the past couple of years. I betting man, I'm all in. I think number one, and I'm not a Jalenite, Kyle, shut your mouth. I really think number one is going to ride us to the finish line this year. I really do. I think he's gonna take the torch this year. He's gonna play well. I don't know. It's just a vibe.
I think he's gonna have a monster year.
Me too. Take him in fantasy, boys. Take him.
There you go, Josh. There you go. All right, Josh. Thanks. Kyle getting some shrapnel there.
Yeah, how about that?
A little drive-by.
But this is the thing. Kyle. I hope Josh is right. I hope Jalen has a great year. But, the problem that I have is, when it's framed as if, Jalen's just taking all this criticism like it's unfair. The criticism last year was not unfair. I don't care what anybody says about it. Jalen did not play well last year. And, sure, were there other issues? Absolutely. Patullo, offensive line, we've gone through it a billion times. But if Jalen plays the way that he played or anywhere near the way he played last year, this year, he's not going to be their quarterback next year. And that is not unfair criticism. No. That's not WIP being mean to Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts needs to play better. Bottom line.
Yeah, I agree with you. He absolutely has to play better. I think having a running game, which I think is going to be back this year, is going to be so advantageous and so helpful to him. I know I'm kind of stating the obvious here, but I think it's going to just change dimensionally how he looks. And if you can get some easy ones with a screen, if you get some easy ones with a wheel route or whatever, how often last year do you think Patullo created mismatches? It felt like there was none of that. How often was there a plan behind a play? It felt like they were just throwing darts. That's what I want to see from Mannion, where he's building something. I'm going to store this for later because they're going to be thinking this is coming. Or just, hey, I'm going to ride this, man. They don't seem to be able to stop it. I'm going to go into I didn't feel like I saw any of that. And I'm not letting Jalen off the hook.
Right.
I'm just saying I didn't feel like I saw any of that last season.
Well, I agree, but I think a lot of that is going to come down to, and again, I don't blame only Jalen for this. I think it was a group decision here. But the biggest thing that I think this offense was missing last year was Jalen and his legs.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to run the ball more. He's going to need to put himself at risk at times because if he doesn't do that, he's just not a special player.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's going to be a huge part of this offense that I know it's typically a huge part of that kind of scheme, but if you're kind of melding the old with the new, that's something from the old that needs to stay.
And I hope he realizes that as well. Like, he's never going to stand in the pocket and pick you apart. And that's not a knock. It's just not what he is. He's a multi-dimensional guy, and he needs to use those. I hope he realizes that and hope they realize it. And here's the thing. You know, when you say something like that, there are people that will counter with, well, you know, you're going to get him hurt. There's ways, I'm not, of course, anybody get hurt on any play in the NFL, but there's ways to be smart about this with him where you're not putting him at the same kind of risk. And I think that's where they need to get back to because that's where they had their most success.
Yeah, and when you talk about creating advantages, that's how you create advantages in this offense, is when Jalen uses his legs, and the defense needs to be so cognizant of that and so aware of what he's doing with the football. That's how you do create those kind of mismatches and those matchup advantages.
Absolutely. Kenny's in Newcastle. Kenny, you're on the Eagles postgame show. Kenny.
Hey, how we doing?
Good, Kenny.
I tell you what, I still think the Eagles, that offensive line is half decent. Your team's still going to be good. Don't discount what everybody says about your quarterback. Your quarterback's a good quarterback. I think you're going to be good if your offensive line's good. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, if the offensive line can get back to, I'd say 80% of what they were in 2024, I think this team is in for a big-time ride because the defense is that good. I really do. Look, do I worry about talent at wide receiver after Devontae Smith? Yeah, I do. But if you can run the ball, that's going to make up for a lot of that.
I think
is that the radio? Or
I don't know
what.
I don't know
what's going on.
I don't know if he was having a party or something.
It sounds like it was fun.
Yeah.
Maybe. How quick can we get to Newcastle?
You can go. I think we're gonna pass.
What? Really?
I don't.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know.
You're not up for fun, Tom?
It didn't
You're
sound
anti-fun?
It didn't sound as fun to me as it sounded
What's
to
your
you.
idea of a good time?
I like going out and partying, going to the bar.
Oh yeah,
going to a bar and
You load up?
Blarney's.
Where do you want to go?
Blarney's or what's your spot? Cawley's.
Yeah, come on, man.
All right,
get it right.
I knew it had an
Kyle knows
EY,
these places.
EYS at the end of it.
It's an Irish bar.
And now, am I allowed back yet? You keep saying you're going to take me out in Delco. I'm starting to get skeptical.
You're on probation. I need to talk to some people. I'm going to try and make this happen.
I feel like my relationship with the county's gotten a little better.
It's better. I don't know if it's all the way where it needs to be yet.
Okay,
but you're getting close.
I feel like I've gained more of a respect for the area. And trying to, I've been trying to smooth it over.
We're gonna put together. Here's what we're gonna do: the entire postgame crew, including you, Vonnie, Kyle, Buzz, Ryan. Am I leaving anybody out? That's the crew.
Okay.
We're gonna all
Swank.
The Swanky Bubbles.
Yeah.
We're all gonna go have a little Delco pike hike.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, that's what
who
we're gonna
doesn't
do.
like a good pike hike?
We're going to make this happen.
Okay.
And we'll all go and have some fun.
I'm
Blow
looking
off some
forward
steam
to it.
with the crew. All right. Gary is in Bluebell. Gary, you're on the postgame show.
How you guys doing?
What's up, Gary?
My only thing is why, man, I love the Eagles, but why do we think that Jalen Hurts is going to become this great quarterback under center and this offense is going to work? Like, I just worry about it a little bit. Like, we just kind of blow it off like, oh, he's learning. It's okay that he throws 10 interceptions across the middle and it's all going to work out in the season. Like, I just don't know.
Well, Gary, I don't think the interceptions in like practice ultimately matter that much. I think they're trying to work stuff out. And honestly, I'm okay with him making those mistakes now. I'm okay with him being a little more aggressive. I think it's hard to say. Like, I don't think we can say definitively he's going to be able to do it or not be able to do it right now. I mean, we got to kind of wait and see how it plays out.
Yeah, look, Gary, I think it's fair.
I agree with you.
No, real quick to your point, Gary, and I'll let you finish. I think it's fair to be concerned and have some questions. I do. I think it's fair. But part of it for me is at least based on the fact, and I hate to keep going back to this, but I will. But if you have a good offensive line and you have a running game to support what's going on, and the fact that usually when this guy's sort of pushed against the wall, which I feel like it kind of is, he usually responds. And I know that's more of an intangible than a tangible thing, but I am backing on that a little bit, his history.
And the other thing I worry about is if, we don't have we have the Slim Reaper and no other receiver.
Yeah.
At what point do they kind of load the box and stop the run? Because we're all talking about how great the offensive line is and the run game is going to be. But at some point, people are going to figure out that if we can't pass it, we have a problem.
Yeah, again, a fair concern. It is. I mean, you lost, I think, and Gary, thanks for the call, man. I'm not disagreeing with anything that Gary said there. I'm not. The thing is, not to harp on the AJ thing, but just in this context for a minute. You knew you were going to be losing talent, but you still had to do it because he was not going to be a good teammate here. He wasn't. So you had to do it. And you take it a little bit of a step back maybe. What you're really hoping is that you can get just enough from those other guys, from Dontavian Wicks, if they make a move to get somebody, whatever. And, and a lot of this is clouded by the fact that we really haven't seen any of Mekhi Lemon. It's concerning.
Absolutely. And I think with Jalen, and I probably sound a little bit like I'm playing both sides here a little bit, I think it's fair to be concerned. I'm concerned. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it or not. But the problem that I have is when people say it's so definitively like he won't be able to do it. And there's no chance he's going to be able to run this offense. Because we don't know that. Like, I think it's fair to be skeptical. I think it's fair to have questions because he's never done stuff like this before, and it's going to require some changes. But where I will give Jalen credit, and again, he needs to play better than he played last year, but I think that his attitude, his mindset, he seems to be in a good place right now.
Very bought in.
Yeah, he seems very bought in. And I think like whatever, and we know all the stories that came out in the offseason stuff, and you can kind of read whether that was messages trying to be sent or not. I think that's fair to conclude. I think whatever message was trying to be sent, I certainly think was received on his end.
I agree with you because I also think competitive, prideful athletes respond when there's adversity. And last year was adversity. There was a lot of just BS going on. The team gets bounced at their place in the first round. Like that, if that's not cause enough for people to wake up, I don't know what is. And I think they got into some bad habits with being comfortable, being predictable, being basic. And I think Jalen is a very high IQ guy and sees that you know what? I probably do have to stretch myself a little bit, and this may be out of my comfort zone, but it's a necessity.
Yeah, and you can feel however you want about Jalen, but I don't know how you can, respect the way that he's handled stuff. Because, I mean, we all saw the stories that came out in the offseason. There are some guys who are going to take that and are going to be upset with the organization, and they're going to kind of shut off and maybe say, oh, I'd like to go elsewhere, something like that. Jalen went the other way. It seems like he's taken whatever those criticisms were, and he's taken them, internalized them, and kind of used them as a positive to get better. And I don't think all quarterbacks would do that.
Yeah, and by all accounts, and again, the proof's going to be in the pudding when it gets real, obviously. But by all accounts at camp, and I don't think this is just player speak, because this is, stuff that's being reported from credible sources, what they're hearing. Like, he really is in on this. Like, it's not like he's just going through the motions, and he's always a first in, last out guy. Like, that's very real with him. So I think you're going to get a good Jalen Hurts this year. Is that projection? Yeah. Is it my gut a little bit? Yeah. But I do think you're going to get and you could call me, you want to say I'm being a homer for saying that? Fine. But I do believe that he's going to play well this year.
Yeah, and I think his mind is in the right place. I don't think if he does struggle, it'll be because of that. I think it's just going to come down to a talent thing, and whether this offense fits him or not, and that really remains to be determined. Obviously,
another big key to this thing is Dallas Goedert staying healthy, which typically he misses 2 or 3 games per year or whatever. He's going to need to stay healthy, because I think his volume of opportunity is going to be higher than it's been because you don't have A.J. Brown. And that's across the board. Like, Devontae's going to get more than he's gotten. All the guys that we've been talking about, the Dontavian Wicks. You get past Wicks, man, I don't know.
Well, Devontae,
I don't know.
Devontae is going to need to make a leap, kind of like Smith and Jigba did last year. I mean, not that he's going to be viewed as like the best receiver in the league, but Jackson Smith and Jigba was not looked at as a premier receiver before last year. DK Metcalf gets traded.
Right.
He steps into that role. I think Devontae's capable of doing it, and they're going to need him to, especially if Mekhi Lemon isn't what you expect year one.
Yeah, and this is what, him missing this time, and I get it, he's hurt, but there's nothing you can do about it. It's so costly. Like, if this was on the other side of the ball, Vic Fangio would tell it like it is, like how behind he is. You don't get the same thing out of Mannion. I get it, who's very polished. Eagles PR has done a good job with him, getting him ready for answering questions. Vic, I don't think they get anywhere near
You
Vic.
don't think Sean Mannion's going to come out and say he's on life support this week?
No, I don't think so. Or he's going to call Weru and Bernard exchange students. No, I don't think that's going to be the case. All right, a lot of fun as always with you, Tom. I appreciate you hanging with us, and great job with the recaps as always. Hopefully we'll get a chance to do it again.
Thanks.
At some point. Want to thank our producer, Kyle Quinn, Dan Buzz Wilson doing a great job as well. Vonnie, our left and right hand woman who is crushing it in here. And how about us? We've been streaming the entire show.
We got the easy job.
We get to see a handsome Tom Kelly. I mean,
Yeah.
Brad Pitt, Tom Kelly.
Everybody else is doing the real work. We're just sitting here.
Tom Hemsworth. I mean, it's amazing. Ryan Straub, we appreciate you as well. So a lot of fun as always. Thanks for hanging with us. And again, one more next week. Friday night, 8 o'clock start. It's the Bengals. That game is here at the Link, and then it gets real after that on September 13th against Washington with a 4:25 start. You've been listening to the PDQ Restaurant Point of Sale Systems postgame show on the Eagles Radio Network, presented by PNC Bank. Brilliantly boring since 1865.